Preston. For a third week in a row, the animated sequel pulled in $57.4 million this weekend and officially became the first movie of 2024 to make $1 billion globally.
It seems like they're getting their mojo back.
Yeah, big time. And then you had A Quiet Place, Dave.
Dream job.
Best opening for that franchise yet. Our buddy, our good, close, personal friend now, Kevin Costner's Horizon, an American Saga, Chapter 1, pulled in only $11 million. Its debut weekend, it did round out, come in third.
Yeah.
And listen, it's up against some really big
heavy hitters,
blockbuster, summer-type movies, so you can understand that. But still, Steve Morrison's seal of approval. I will get out and see that within the next couple of weeks.
So I saw a couple of reviewers that the word is reviewers. I forgot how to say it. And they, for Film Threat, and they were lavishing praise on it, rightfully so. It definitely needs to be seen on the big screen.
Fourth place, Bad Boys, Ride or Die, and then rounding out the top five was the Bollywood movie Kalki,
Which is supposedly off the insane
2898 AD is what that is called. So, all right, we're going to dive right into some gossip stuff. We'll begin with the fact that there's a new development in J-Lo and Ben. It's not pointing to a happy ending. A source for People spilled that Ben has moved all his stuff out of the couple's shared mansion in Beverly Hills.
And didn't he do it while she was in Europe?
I don't know.
I think that's the story.
Oh, yeah.
Came
Actually,
over.
yeah. So he got his stuff before she got back from her recent trip to Europe. He's been living on his own for about 2 months, apparently. Despite the troubling sign, the source for People says that Ben is doing well right now. The source says he seems okay. He's been at his office every day and seems focused on work. He's also spending time with his kids.
I've been hanging out with Martha.
Who's Martha?
How did you know?
Where'd you hear that name?
My mother.
Ben and J-Lo.
Your mother too? Get out. Shut the front door. Really?
Well, don't that
God. I cannot believe this. Yeah. Here I am kicking your ass, and your mommy's name is my mommy's name, too. Small world.
So they got married in 2022 after restarting their romance in 2021, and the couple moved to their Beverly Hills home in 2023. As of what's next, we are going to have to wait and see. But yeah, man, we'll see. We shall see. This was sad news. This came in on Friday after we had already gone into the weekend, but longtime comedic actor Martin Mull passed away. He was 80 years old.
I was always a huge Martin Mull fan.
Me too. He had gotten his start on the 70s TV series Fernwood Tonight and would go on to play famous roles like Colonel Mustard in Clue. And he was in Arrested Development. I didn't watch Arrested Development. Gene Parmesan?
He was great.
Was that his name?
Yeah.
Okay.
He's like the family lawyer.
Martin's daughter, Maggie Rose Mull, shared the news on Instagram saying, I'm heartbroken to share that my father passed away at home on June 27th after a valiant fight against a long illness. He was known for excelling at every creative discipline imaginable and also for doing Red Roof Inn commercials. He would find that joke funny, she said.
So there was Mary Hartman, which Fernwood Tonight was an offshoot of that. And these were the anti-soap operas. They were kind of, had a cutting edge to them. And, Fred Willard was on Fernwood Tonight as well. But he's in a movie, Preston, I don't know if you remember from years ago, called Serial, Serial.
I remember that title. What was it about?
So it's about the trippy Hollywood at that time. So we're talking about the late 70s, early 80s. And his daughter becomes part of a cult. I think you'd find that part funny, and he does everything to rescue her.
I was looking at his credits, and obviously he was great in Mr. Mom. I'd forgotten that he was in the movie My Bodyguard. He played the dad, a pretty straight role in that movie. On his credits, it said Mrs. Doubtfire, and I don't remember him in that movie.
No, neither do I.
It might have been a scene that was cut or something like that. But also, he was in Jingle All the Way, and he did tons of guest appearances on loads and loads of TV shows. But he was a regular on Sabrina the Teenage Witch.
That's right, yeah.
He did 40 or 50 episodes or something like that.
You're right.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
But he was so great. His daughter, Maggie, went on to share how she and others will miss him dearly. She said, my dad will be deeply missed by his wife and daughter, his friends, co-workers, by fellow artists and comedians and musicians, and the sign of a truly exceptional person, by many, many dogs. I loved him tremendously. So that was sad news. He was you always liked it when you saw him pop on.
Very funny guy.
Yeah. Congratulations to Chris Pratt and Katherine Schwarzenegger, who announced their third baby together is on the way.
Did you?
The The couple have been married since June 2019 and have 2 daughters, a 3-year-old Lila Maria and 2-year-old Eloise Christiane.
I just have to see what that clip was.
Did you have like a penis implant?
Oh, okay. All right.
It's just above the...
And then here's another little congrats. Josh Lucas, great actor. He and his girlfriend, Brianna Ruffalo, they are now engaged.
So when I saw that she was an LA meteorologist on their ABC affiliate out there, I'm like, okay, this is going to have to be a stunning woman. She is.
She's
Oh,
a stunning
yeah?
woman.
Okay.
He's a good-looking dude.
Yeah,
so you would
yeah.
expect that. But yeah, if she's you're a meteorologist in LA.
In LA? Yeah.
Sources say Lucas popped the question while the two were vacationing in Italy, and the TV weather person said yes. Ruffalo posted a video showing off her new rock on Instagram, saying almost 2 years ago this fall, and with no expectations, Josh walked into my life, and we knew immediately that we had, oh my God, she's stunning.
Yeah,
Wow.
I found out quickly that there's a
Nick
collection
just
of
pulled up a video of her.
YouTube videos of her in mini skirts on the doing the weather.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I know what I'm doing in the commercial break. So anyhow, she immediately, we had found our person in the way we had never experienced on every level. This was the easiest and best question I have ever answered, she said. So they're engaged. All right, now, so we had a birth after a death. We had an engagement. And now we have Billy Ray Cyrus, Fire Rose.
Fire Rose.
So the back and forth between the estranged couple continues. The Aussie singer, Fire Rose, she's the Aussie singer,
Fire Rose.
gave Page Six her version of events over the weekend.
And I'm sure it's very flattering towards Billy Ray Cyrus.
Yeah, she said, Billy had very strict rules. I didn't have a car. I was only allowed to go to the local chiropractor and allowed once a month to get my nails done.
Wow. It seems very controlling.
Friends and family were banned
Fire Rose.
from visiting, she claimed, saying that if I had to send a text, I had to read it out to him for permission. It was the same for email. He would rage at me, shout at me at the top of his lungs. It was illogical and insane and terrifying, she says.
Sounds like a friggin' nightmare.
Now, he was saying on the other side that she was physically abusive
Yes.
to him, too. So
somewhere in the middle probably is the truth.
Yep.
But they're both putting on the big show for the divorce.
Yep. So Billy Ray filed divorce from Fire Rose in late May.
Fire Rose!
Claiming irreconcilable differences and inappropriate marital conduct as the reason for the divorce,
Just get divorced already.
while also seeking an annulment on the grounds of fraud. Oh, no, there's definitely money involved in this, and there's going to be, a lot of hands grabbing.
He wants to get some of that Fire Rose money.
Yeah. Michael J. Fox made a surprise appearance at the Glastonbury Music Festival over the weekend, joining Coldplay on stage during their headlining set. Despite his battle with Parkinson's disease, he showcased his guitar skills and performed alongside Chris Martin during the band's hit song Fix You. The performance included a touching tribute to Michael's iconic role in Back to the Future. Martin had incorporated lyrics from Johnny B. Good into the set as well. And Martin later credited the Back to Future as the inspiration for Coldplay's formation.
What?
Highlighting Fox's enduring impact on the music industry and pop culture. Steve, I think that all artists do that. When they have somebody that they bring up on stage and they always say,
they BS.
This is the reason that I got into music in the first place.
Ladies and gentlemen, if Ernest had never gone to camp, there would be no Rolling Stones.
But he's on stage, he's in a wheelchair, and he's, kicking his leg up and ripping through the song. So that's cool.
Yeah.
You got to love that. So.
And his playing was, pretty decent.
I guess so. I
wonder if in that case, as with sometimes people with stutters, if you have this, I don't know. I guess what I'm saying is, does the musical therapy work?
Yeah, so
for Parkinson's?
My old
am I making any sense?
Yeah, my math teacher had a stutter, but we never knew this.
Right.
And then he told us that he learned to speak in beats, and that helped him with his stutter. And so essentially he would rap.
So I wonder if that would have the same with Parkinson's, if that could have a medicinal
treatment
aspect.
Well, maybe he just kind of kept things basic. through the chords and not try to get too,
Some
too
Ingve.
meticulous or nothing like that. So sticking with the concert stuff for a little bit here, we told you how Taylor Swift's London Eras Tour shows have been star-studded, and so far Ireland is following suit. When Tay hit the stage yesterday, Travis Kelce was joined in the VIP tent by Julia Roberts and Stevie Nicks. Fan videos showed Julia getting friendship bracelets from the audience while Stevie took in the show. Travis was spotted chatting with both celebs. And Taylor gave Stevie a special shout out before going into Clara Bow, calling her one of her heroes. She said, "The reason I want to play this tonight is because a friend of mine is here who's watching the show.
I wouldn't be here tonight without Back to the Future.
And who has been one of the reasons why I or any female artist get to do what we do. She's become friends with so many female artists just to be a guiding hand. I can't tell you how rare that is. She's a hero of mine and also someone that I can tell her any secret and she'd never tell anybody. Shut the up! She's really helped me through so much over the years, and I'm talking about Stevie Nicks."
Oh.
So Stevie,
Stevie Nicks has had wonderful things to say about Taylor Swift. Yeah.
Yeah, so they, she was there and she kind of highlighted.
I owe it all to Taylor Swift. Who's ever in the box?
With Eddie Murphy's recent reprisal of his role as Axel Foley in Beverly Hills Cop Axel F. set to stream on Netflix starting July 3rd, he sat down with the New York Times' David Marchese for an interview, and the 63-year-old actor talks about his groundbreaking career in stand-up comedy, his transformative impact on Saturday Night Live, and his trailblazing roles in movies that redefine the action comedy genre. And he also reflects on his Hollywood relationships, his view on stand-up, and the dream project that has yet to materialize. He and Marchese discussed his success on Saturday Night Live in the early 80s and how he brought the show back from the brink of cancellation with his memorable characters like Gumby and Mr. Robinson, and how hurt he was when David Spade made a joke about him after his departure. He had said that he and David are good now.
Now they are, yeah.
But at the time, it was, I guess David was doing Weekend Update, and he goes, "Hey, everybody, look, it's a falling star," and then showed a picture of Eddie Murphy.
I remember that.
I remember that, too.
That
it was funny.
And that was his character.
Well, and because he had also had a... he had a bomb. I forgot which one.
Pluto Nash.
No, it was the Dracula. It was the...
Vampire in Brooklyn?
Yeah, it was that movie, and it had tanked pretty bad at that time, and so that's why they made the joke. But Murph was hurt by it, apparently. Like, it stung me. He's like, dude.
Yeah.
He's like, I kind of brought that show back from the brink, and now you guys are letting this joke slide. But anyhow, he said he eventually got over it. So despite Murphy's second stand-up film, 1987's Raw, still holding the record for the highest grossing stand-up comedy film ever produced, he likens stand-up to being on the front lines in a war and something he's nostalgic for but does not want to go back to.
I always thought Delirious was better than Raw.
Which one?
Delirious?
Yeah,
you think it's better than Raw? Yeah.
His first one.
I agree.
Yeah.
I like the first one a little bit better, too. With all that he's accomplished, there is still at least one project that he hopes will make happen, and that's a mockumentary about a guy at the center of early rock and R&B in the 60s. He's even had a very funny trailer, and there's a pretty good chance that we will see a movie called Soul, Soul, Soul one day. It kind of sounds like Dewey Cox.
It does.
But with a little more R&B and taking that direction. And by the way, speaking of Eddie Murphy, I saw this other story that I figured I'd throw in here, too. Eddie Murphy is working on possibly a reboot of It's a Mad, 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 Mad World. He said if the script turns out right, it's going to be a cast of all of the who's who of comedians. Anybody that was funny over the last 30 years is going to be in this movie.
It's going to be a tough one to pull together.
And he added that the script will be delivered any minute now. The classic original starred Spencer Tracy, Milton Berle, Jonathan Winters, Buster Keaton, Mickey Rooney, and a huge virtual who's who of Hollywood legends. So he wants to try to pull off something like that.
Did you ever see it?
Many times.
It's a classic.
Yeah. And that was the thing. It was this big ensemble. Everybody in it was a big star.
So, like, Case, there's a scene, like, they're jamming everyone in. There's a scene where they're kind of panning across these firefighters at an airport. There's a plane that's going to crash land, they think. And it's the Three Stooges.
The Three Stooges.
Yeah.
That was great.
That's hilarious.
Yeah. So this is not so good news, but hopefully we're hoping for the best. ESPN broadcaster legend Dick Vitale announced Friday that his cancer has returned. And he would just announce that it was gone not that long He said, my report on the biopsy of the lymph node in my neck has arrived and it's cancerous. I informed fans he'll be having surgery tomorrow. He said, I will win this battle. He's been with ESPN since it launched in 1979 and called ESPN's very first college basketball broadcast. In 2021, he was diagnosed with lymphoma months after he had multiple surgeries to remove melanoma. And in 2022, he announced that he was cancer-free before announcing last year that he had vocal cord cancer, for which he once again underwent surgery. So
the prognosis is good. That's what we're hearing. So at least some of the articles that I've read are, and you hope him the best. He is scheduled to cover the horse wrestling, Preston.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, for the Olympics.
Listen, they want a pro doing it.
Yeah.
That's
awesome, baby.
All right, and then the last story I have, Tony Hale and Sherry Lee Ralph are set to announce the 2024 Emmy Award nominations. The ceremony will be July 17th, and it will air live on the Emmys website. The Emmys will take place September 15th and available to watch on ABC, 8 p.m. Eastern. The Academy Chair, Chris Abrego, said, great television relies on contributions for so many, and we are delighted to have Tony and Cheryl help us acknowledge excellence across field as we embark on a season of tremendous celebration.
You have to imagine he's going to call us out from the stage, Ryan, after the interview.
Most likely, yeah.
Yeah, I would think so.
And maybe bring Kevin Costner on so they can wax nostalgic about their interviews.
All right, we are going to do a clip here. We have one clip today.
What?
In Despicable Me 4, Joey King voices Poppy Prescott, an aspiring supervillain who's admired Gru for a long time. Here, she discusses working closely with the animation team.
It was fun. We had I was grateful that it felt like there was a lot of creative freedom with these directors because they wanted to feel like your own voice and your own take on the character.
You must be out of your goddamn mind.
Despicable Me 4 hits theaters on Wednesday. I'm trying to remember who Joey King is. I know.
You've seen her in countless
She's a hot
things.
girl. I know that.
Yeah, and her sister's attractive as well.
Oh,
but
Don?
Don King.
Don King? Oh.
Yeah.
All right, and that's what I have in the entertainment report for you this
Did you
morning.
see the movie The Kissing Booth?
I did not.
On Netflix?
I did not.
She was in that?
No. Was she in Sin City? Was she Goldie?
No.
No, you're thinking of Jamie King.
Jamie King.
Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking of. All right. Screw Joey King.
Yeah.
I
You're
like
thinking of
Jamie
Larry King.
Larry King. So many Kings.
Am I pretty?
All right, we are taking a quick break. We're going to come back in a moment. It's a Monday morning with the Preston and Steve Show. Just a heads up, a short work week with the holiday coming up. We are going to have 3 letters for the Word of the Week prize that you have to keep track of. So it's a very easy one to follow along with. We don't want you to miss out on that. And Matt McGinnis of Mystery Science Theater 3000 and Blobfest is going to be stopping by today. We'll be back in a moment. Stay put.
Preston and Steve.
It's like you've just met in the jungle. Dream job.
That's my favorite one.
Dream job.
It's a
Dream job.
Green job. You like green job.
Dream.
Green job.
Dream.
Why did that
I don't know why it's stopping.
Me? Neither.
Dream job.
Rouge job. You tongue to cream butthole.
At the end, I go, dream job.
Yeah, of course. Wouldn't you?
Yeah,
It's definitely
dream
enough
job.
That's the natural gagging.
Dream job. Someone wants to point out that we've won awards.
Yes.
Yes, we have.
I know.
True.
That
Yeah.
doesn't mean they can't rescind them.
Yeah.
What?
Do you get the spicy chicken at the Chick-fil-A, or do you just get the regular chicken?
I have gotten the spicy before.
I think I'm just a spicy chicken guy. Like there.
Oh, dear God. I'm just a spicy chicken guy.
Are you coming out right now?
I'm coming out.
I mean, Pride Month ended
Mom,
yesterday.
can we
Did it end
talk?
yesterday?
Yeah.
Yeah,
June.
June.
All right, anyway,
Okay,
I was
well,
just joking. Go
I'm a
ahead.
spicy chicken guy. Oh, no.
But I just wanted to let this be known that Wendy's has,
Well, I'll always love you.
has the spicy chicken nuggets are back. So
That was, yes, I
yeah.
did see that announcement they made. So you wanted to get the word out?
I just want to get the word out. Want to
All
let
right.
people know it's usually like $6 for $1.
Yeah.
I heard.
This morning on the Preston and Steve Show, Casey Boy reveals something concerning fast food and an extended offer. We go now to Jim Iglesiewski outside of the Pentagon. Jim, did Casey in fact confirm there was an extended offer? That's correct, Tom. Thank you, Jim.
That's all you had to say. Yes, that's correct. It's confirmed.
I think I'm just a spicy chicken guy. Like,
Just a spicy chicken guy. Spicy chicken guy. Oh no! Dear God, I'm just a spicy chicken guy.
I just want to get the word out. Want to let people know.
Okay, so I want to talk about the movies that are opening this weekend. Where'd Casey go?
Do you think he had to make a boom boom?
I'm not really sure. There's a lot of things that are off about him today, so...
Is it even Casey?
It might not be Casey. Did we check?
Maybe it's
No,
the hair.
we usually take a urine specimen every morning.
So we usually have a little song that we play. Marissa, I don't know if you can find that or not. It's the 20th Century Fox with the recorder.
Yeah.
Maybe it's under... I don't know what it's even labeled under.
I'll admit this. I'm a little scared.
We have kazoos.
You could do that, Kath.
You're a master of it, Kathy. Play it. Play it for us.
I got mine, Kath.
All right, I have my egg.
You know how it goes?
Yeah.
All right.
I'll give you the root.
Okay, ready?
Wait, hum it for me. Yeah. Okay.
Ray, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen.
You were way better than me.
Thank you. I went for it.
That was sensational.
little lightheaded.
You know what I realized?
You have a recorder.
I have a recorder right here.
You want to do it again?
You okay?
I'm better.
Okay.
Sorry, I don't feel good, guys.
Right over here is Jason Kelsey. How you doing so far? You enjoying the off season?
Yeah, it's good. We just started up again about 2 weeks ago. This week was the first week on the field with the coaches. So we're kind of back at it.
Kind of seems like there's really not any sort of real off season these days. The nature of the beast is that you just keep at it.
Yeah, especially when you're playing playoff games and stuff like that. It shortens down. We're probably 7 months out of the year working, but that's. Pretty intensive work for 7 months. But
Jason, is it a case of is it sort of better that way because you gotta do more getting up to speed?
Yeah.
If you take too much time off, and if you kind of sort of keep at it, you're always just to take off, fighting weight, basically.
Yeah, I think most guys lift year round pretty much.
Yeah.
You'll take a few weeks off here or there, go on vacation, whatnot, but most guys are always staying in shape. This time of the year is especially important for all the new free agents that we got in, all the guys that are trying to learn the terminology, the new playbooks.
Well, your brother's like one of the best tight ends in the league.
Yeah.
He does a great commercial, by the way.
He's tackling an eagle in that commercial, or have we talked about this yet?
He's dancing in the commercials, the commercial that I'm talking about, where he's sort of fantasizing and he's doing like an end zone dance, and then you realize that he's like standing in the middle of a store or whatever. Yeah. So I wanted to ask you, because you guys are both at the top of your games and the top of your positions, who's the actual better athlete?
Oh, Travis is not even close.
Oh, really?
Not even close. You got to call him as you see him. Yeah. Honestly, he's living it out in fantasy, and you're doing it.
Yeah. No, he's a special athlete, and he always has been. Even no matter what it was, basketball, baseball. He's just had a knack for sports. I think that I've always been big, fast, and strong, but the type of athlete he is, how fluid he is, the way he moves, his ability to change direction and things like that, and spatial awareness. He's a tremendous athlete.
Jason, you and Nick share something in common. You guys have both climbed Mount Kilimanjaro.
You climbed Mount Kili?
I did. Yeah, I did it for charity as well. The organization you guys did it with was Chris Long and Bo Allen. And the Water Boys is a fantastic organization. And, when I did it, I thought I never want to do it again. Because
same here.
Yeah, it is the hardest thing I've ever done in my life. But now it's been several years, and I want to do it again. And part of the reason why I want to do it again is because of the work you guys have done for such a great organization. And I love philanthropic climbs at all. And to do it and make it that challenging is really impressive. Tell me your impressions of the climb itself.
Same as you.
Yeah.
The moment I started going up that last night, about halfway through, I was like, what in the hell am I doing?
Yeah.
You're in the pitch black. You're going. What route did you go up?
We did Umbwe.
Umbwe?
Yeah.
We did Wrong Guy, which is the only one from like the north side.
Yes.
It's the shortest, but I think.
Is it steeper?
I think it's at the top. It's a little bit steeper.
Because everyone says it's like Nick was saying that basically as climbs go, it's a gradual. But there was one route that at the end, that's probably what you did, that it becomes a lot steeper.
The summit is the hardest part of the climb.
Exactly.
And you're already tapped out because you've done a climb for several days in a row, and then it becomes the steepest part at the highest elevation.
Yeah.
Oh, that's wonderful.
I don't know if it's any steeper. I shouldn't say that, but you do have to. Once you get to the top, you don't go right to the peak. So you have to like walk around to the other side of the peak, which is a little bit more of like another 2 hours once you're already at the top, which is kind of like, well, why in the heck am I?
Are you walking?
I should already be here.
Is that so you summit like at daybreak?
So you get up at midnight the night before. That's what we did on this route. You have a headlamp on. It's the blackest of black you've ever seen. I mean, there's not a light
on a mountain.
Yeah, and you just start making your ascent. And at this point, it's a little bit too steep for guys like me to go straight up. I mean, the porters and guys who do this, I mean, there's nothing to them. They're walking up and down like it's just another day of work.
Bastards.
But, for us, we go like kind of like sideways in these skip backs, and it took us 7.5 hours to get to Gilman's Point, which was the top of the Rongai route, and then we had to walk another 2.5 hours to the peak. So I got to the peak around 10 a.m.
Who else climbed with you guys?
So it was me, Chris, Bo, and Haloti Nada were the 4 guys that have played with the Eagles.
And Haloti?
They said Haloti and Bo were the 2 heaviest guys that they've ever seen climb the mountain.
And he announced his retirement from at the peak, at the summit.
After the climb, the mountain is now 16,000 feet.
As we're sitting here talking to you, the texts are coming in, and I wanted to find out what you hear most. Do you hear hungry dogs? What is it? Hungry dogs run faster?
Yeah.
Okay. Or if I don't eat breakfast, I'm pissed off.
Yep.
Or from that speech, there were several highlights. Do people just yell those out to you sometimes?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
Which one do you hear most?
I was actually surprised. Nobody this morning asked if I ate breakfast and if I was upset or not.
You've heard it enough, man.
Oh, thank you. I probably hear hungry dogs. I probably hear hungry dogs run faster than and that's not just from. I mean, that's still a mantra of Jeff Stoutland. I mean, he was just grilling some of the younger guys with it today, and or not today, but yesterday about we got some rookies coming in here. We got some new free agent signings. You want to talk about hungry dogs, and he's trying to motivate people with it. I mean, it's something that was such a big part, I think, with the team and the city, and it kind of all correlated together that I probably hear that one the most.
That's Jason Kelsey. Yeah. I did notice something else.
More from the noticer.
Mm-hmm.
He notices so you don't have to.
I noticed
across an empty field. Down the dark alley.
I do notice that I will use digital assistants from time to time. The 2 that I use are
your fingers?
No.
And your toes.
Not those digital assistants.
I'm sorry.
Meaning Siri and Alexa. Those are the 2 that I use from time to time. Now, Alexa I mainly use for like a timer when I'm cooking, or music to listen to real quick, or something like that.
In your kitchen, do you have the show, the Alexa show? Which has the screen on it?
Oh. No.
It's actually very cool, especially if you're doing recipes or things of that nature.
Right.
Yeah.
So anyhow, there was a new study that finds which is the smartest of them all, and in what order. This is Loop Ventures. They did a study that had researchers ask the 4 digital assistants 800 questions, and they found all assistants were great at understanding the questions. They have determined who actually answered the most questions.
I have them all, or have had them all. This sounds like I'm bragging about sexual conquest. But, so go through this. I'm curious to see if it lines up with what I experienced.
So they found that the smartest of them all is Google Assistant.
Okay, so that's what I learned, is that the ability to answer questions and questions contextually went to Google.
I can't stand when I ask Siri a question and she just gives me a bunch of websites to go to. I'm like, just give me.
Do not like that. However, though, Google Assistant will most often default to Wikipedia.
There are obviously silly, ridiculous things that you don't need it for, but you use it for anyway.
I still do, yeah.
What do you think for you is the most practical purpose for using any of these?
Honestly, for when I'm sitting, for example, if I'm sitting and I'm setting up something for the media. You know, I'm watching TV or whatever, and I'm looking down at something, or I need the lights on, or I'm turning lights on and off.
Okay.
Playing music, playing
I think that's
the radio.
What I would use it for.
Playing. I walk into a room. I constantly use it for weather. I constantly use it. I'll get a quick news update.
Yep.
So I'm interfacing it with that. And if you look at
into a big, busy holiday week/weekend, you may want to get an idea of where to go. And by the way, before getting into this, because there's a list that I saw that I'm going to share some information with you about, the travel delays with the airport yesterday with the weather coming in and everything. Apparently, it's significant.
Tremendous. And they're anticipating a ton of travel around the 4th of July weekend. Big time.
Yeah.
People are, and you sense it. People want to get out and do something.
Yeah, and
they want to get stuck in traffic.
But the effect that weather in one city can have on other cities.
It's the worst when you are in case a city, it happened one time when I was leaving Dallas. Sunny, clear, perfect, no problem.
Yeah.
And yet the flight was delayed for hours because of other stuff going on across the country.
Yeah, depends on where you're going and where you're connecting and all of that. So, yeah, they were saying that people were, Kathy, I think you said, waiting for their luggage for like 4.5 hours.
Yeah, they said if they wanted their luggage back, it was a 4-hour wait.
Most travelers do want their luggage back.
Yeah.
Yeah, they packed it and everything. They bought it initially.
I shared a little bit of this last week, but my parents were at the airport for 7 hours, and then we had to take them home, and then they went back to the airport on Friday.
Yeah, you've been dealing with this for
listen,
days.
It's fine. Everybody's safe and sound, and they made it where they needed to go. But Steve, when they were taken off of the plane, they never made it on the plane in the first place on Wednesday. But when they decided that they weren't going to stay in the airport any longer, they had to wait at luggage for the luggage to be taken off the plane, even though the plane had never even left Philadelphia in the first place. So their baggage claim in Philly for a flight that was supposed to leave Philly earlier that day.
Man, pissed me off. All right, just be warned that is indeed the case. And like Steve said, it's going to be a busy travel week this week. But I saw this article, and it is a list of the best free attractions in the United States. So this is according to travel experts. They compiled some information, and they have come up with the 10 best free attractions in the country. I'm going to dive right in because there are a few that are in our area, in our general area.
Well, that's good to know.
In fact, the highest ranking one at number 3 is on our Jersey Shore 64 list.
What?
Yes.
What?
So number 3, I'll get to the other ones in a moment, but I'm just going to mainly hit the ones that are in our area. Number 3 on this list, nationwide in the top 10.
Drum roll.
What?
Oh, drum roll.
Oh.
That's a high placement, Preston. You can't just blow that off. Let's hear what it is.
The Cape May County Park and Zoo.
I thought you were going to say that. You guys were raving on it.
Yeah.
Chuck loves it.
So that is number 3 on this national list. I'm surprised to see that, but I mean, I'm not surprised in that it's awesome. What?
And I've been there.
I've been there.
Have you all been there?
Yeah.
Yeah. I have not.
I've played disc golf there.
You did?
Yes.
With the animals?
No, not with the animals. But their course is hard. It's very difficult. But anyhow, it's home to more than 500 animals, including giraffes, zebras, and lemurs.
And completely free.
It's open year-round in both admission and parking. Totally free.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's
so the whole thing.
Very unique.
And so far, it's in our fishy Final Four right now.
Yeah, who's it going against?
In the 64. So it'll be Cape May Zoo against Cape May Lighthouse.
So the disc golf, is that free?
Yes.
Oh, my God.
Absolutely.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, if you have your own discs, I guess. I don't know if you can rent the discs there, but yeah, it's free.
I mean, I did, I've gone through the actual zoo itself, but then they also have this really cool ropes course. It's, climbing ropes and zip lining and all that. That costs money.
Okay.
Some of the attractions inside the park will cost money.
But in general, and is it usually packed or is it pretty good?
No, I thought, my experience has been, it's pretty standard. You know what I mean? Like, people there, it's not overly packed.
Number 3 is high placement on the list, I got to say.
Yeah.
I have to say.
And number 4 on this list, which I'm actually surprised to see this at all, but the U.S. Mint in Philadelphia is one of the top free places that you can tour
Have
in
you
the
ever been?
country. Yeah, I have.
I was in elementary school. We came down on from New York on a field trip, a bus trip. I don't remember a goddamn thing about it.
What I remember from it, because it was a few years ago, it's probably 5 or 6 years ago, is that they need an interior update. It was a little bit dated. It was a little, if I remember, there was like wood paneling on the walls.
Oh,
and things
really?
Like that, straight from the 1970s. It seemed a little dusty to me. But it says here in this article, visitors can find out the history of our country's coins on a 45-minute self-guided tour, which includes seeing the first coin press from 1792 and meeting Peter the Mint Eagle, a real bald eagle. Well, I didn't see that.
What?
They had a real bald eagle. But we were right next to the Mint the other day, Casey, because we parked behind there. For Wawa Hoagie Day.
Yeah, it's just right there.
Yep, and Ben Franklin's grave is right across from there. And
yes, and as a matter of fact, I parked on that street where he's, and I was like, oh,
where he parked,
where he's eternally parked. Steve,
did you stop by and take a peek?
No, because I thought that cost money to go into it.
Yeah, no, but
to go see Ben.
But there's an iron gate. You can look right through.
See,
it's right next to the road.
In fact, people will toss coins onto his tomb.
See, it was funny, Press. When I was walking past that gate, I thought it was all the way in the back.
No, it's right there.
Oh, man.
You can be on the street and you could reach right through there and touch and play with his bones if you wanted to.
Absolutely. Yeah, you can absolutely
play with his bones.
I think it's a little underwhelming for Ben Franklin. It's there's not much of a monument there. It's just a slate. It's a vault.
Friggin' Ben Franklin.
It's Ben Franklin.
Come on, man.
But anyhow, they included the U.S. Mint in Philadelphia as one of the top free attractions in the country. I thought that was pretty cool. And then number 10 on the list is also in our region, Independence National Historical Park in Philadelphia, so Independence Mall.
It is. Listen, the Constitution Center is pretty amazing. Everything there is.
Yeah. I mean,
the one thing I've said is a little underwhelming for me is the Liberty Bell, but that's okay.
But it is free.
It is free.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
So are tickets to Independence Hall free?
I don't know.
I do know you have to get them early. I don't think they are free. I'm not 100% sure, but I know that they are.
What about the Constitution Center?
I know they are in demand. Constitution Center sometimes is free.
Some of the attractions?
It was free that day.
What about the roller coaster?
It was free that day for Hoagie Day. But Steve, I'm not really sure.
They call it the Bill of Yikes.
The roller coaster is the Bill of Yikes. Let's see here. Admission and information. Tickets to Independence Hall are free, but still required between March 1st and December 31st. They can be picked up at the Independence Visitor Center, but you got to get them. I think you got to get them early.
Yeah, that's probably a good idea.
And also, it says with a handful of exceptions, like the National Constitution Center, most attractions there are free. But apparently, some of the time, Constitution Center they charge.
Okay, I'll rattle off the rest of them, and I have another list I want to get to. But here's number 1 on the list is the Loggerhead Marine Life Center in Juno Beach, Florida. So these are the top free attractions in the U.S. And it says their goal is to rescue and return wildlife in their natural habitat. So the number of sea turtles and other sea creatures varies, but there are always animals to observe. So it's like a zoo. It's like an aquarium.
I can get up for stuff like that. Like even the old boring fish hatchery I enjoyed now and then.
Number 2 on this list is the Tico Manatee Viewing Center in Apollo Beach, Florida. Apollo.
Thank you.
That a manatee, Apollo?
Yeah, it is. And there are also butterfly gardens and an observation tower.
Unbelievable.
And a boardwalk.
What is the name of this place?
A boardwalk and walking trails to explore as well. The Tico Manatee Viewing Center in Apollo Beach, Florida.
Apollo.
Yeah. Number 5 on the list is Golden Gate Bridge in San Francisco.
Yeah, it is impressive.
Rode my bike past it. Okay,
I rode my bike up past it, and I wasn't scared.
What country are you from, son? When you said you rode your bike past it. I'm just trying to get a beat on what country you're from, where they would say something to our ear which sounds so stupid, but in your country sounds completely correct. A bike past.
Across is what
a bike across. Number 6 is J.C. Ralston Arboretum in Raleigh, North Carolina.
Do you like arboretums?
Yeah. No?
Did you say no? Why?
What about like Longwood Gardens and stuff like that?
Well, listen. The only time I went to Longwood was around Christmas time, and I hated it every second of it because I got stuck in the big.
Oh yeah, if you get bottlenecked in that thing,
and I couldn't go anywhere.
In what?
Where they have
the big greenhouse
Yeah.
that they have. I got stuck in there, and I mean, Kath, we were moving at an absolute snail's pace, and I couldn't go any faster
And you want to die.
or any slower than I was going.
That's the worst time of year to go.
I know.
It really
I know.
is. And like, even though it's the best time of year to go, it's the absolute worst time of year to go because it's so crowded.
But it's phenomenal.
Well, it is phenomenal. I really like Longwood Gardens the rest of the year because you can just enjoy the outside better. Every time you go around Christmas time, Casey, everybody gets jammed inside. Guess why? Because it's cold.
And what's the Arboretum? Is it either Morris or Tyler, the one that's near the old Granite Room Mall?
It's the I can't beat him Arboretum.
That's Tyler.
Tyler. All right, so I've been there twice, and I actually had a great time there. But
So you're split. You're split on Arboretums.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're beautiful.
Yeah.
It's if you just want to
got a lot
take in
of
the scenery
plants.
and take a nice walk.
Morris Arboretum is one of my favorite places to go. I
Where
love
is
it there.
that one?
By the way, it's right up the
Chestnut
road
Hill.
from me, Case. Yeah,
it is.
yeah.
Okay.
It's right next to Chestnut Hill College.
Okay.
Then you have the National Infantry Museum and Soldier Center in Columbus, Georgia. And it says here that exhibits include the last 100 yards, which shows significant battles in infantry's history. And there are galleries covering time periods from the Revolutionary War to today.
Is there disc golf?
I don't think there's disc golf. Number 8 is the Great Smoky Mountains National Park in Tennessee and North Carolina.
That's not free.
Okay.
I mean, all national parks charge you to get in.
It says here the most visited national park in the U.S. with many free activities in the massive space that spans the border between the two states.
So once you're inside, it's free, Nick.
Once you pay to
Once
get
you pay to
in,
get in,
it's
it's
all
free.
free.
Like I saw a
Admission.
free movie yesterday. I just had to pay to get through the doors.
Also, when you're standing outside, it's
Yeah.
free for you to look in.
Right.
Oh, that's what it says here, Nick. And then the last one on this list is the Freedom Trail in Boston.
That is free.
And it's pretty cool. It
is.
It goes by some really nice, parks and things like that. And it goes by Paul Revere's house and the USS Constitution. And there's because we walked some of it last time we were there, but you go to the cemetery where like Paul Revere and Sam Adams and
I love the Hall of
Yeah, they-
Stupid Dialects.
the Hall of Stupid Dialects,
Boston, is
especially
great.
out of Boston. Yeah.
So we obviously have an incredible historical area here in the Walk. I wish actually the game was raised here a little bit.
I agree.
because
I think Boston's is better.
I think Boston's is better.
Yeah.
And I think we're every bit as good
Yeah.
in history and impact, but their layout and their presentation is good, right, Case?
I agree.
I mean, and I agree. I do agree with you. Boston also has a more interesting topographical layout. There are hills. It's a little bit more rolling.
It's true, yeah.
Which makes it a little bit more interesting, I think. And obviously, it's right there on the water
Right.
as well, which is pretty cool. I mean, we have the river, but I agree. They could be presented a little bit better. you
Yeah.
know.
I mean, they're
Because we
doing a
have
fine job.
We have so much great history here. But I was delighted to see that three of them out of the top 10 were in our area, and that is Cape May County Park and Zoo, the U.S. Mint, and the Independence Mall.
Is Disney World on this?
Disney World is not on this list.
It is
not free, Steve.
Oh,
It's
okay.
not free.
But once you pay to
unfortunately.
get
In
in,
fact, it's
it's
ridiculously
free.
expensive. So even when you get in, it's still expensive.
Yeah.
Speaking of free, Kathy has a list of fireworks displays coming up this week, and it's an extensive list that Steve sent over. So she kind of compiled a few different things because I know that we kind of have a couple of our go-tos when as a family. We don't do it as much anymore. When the kids were younger, it was appointment. Where are we going? Where are we going to see our fireworks this year? Fortunately, we're gonna be spending some time at the shore, and there's lots of places you can see fireworks there as well. So
on you have like a roof deck?
We have a rooftop deck.
So
we could see multiple displays around.
What, at
there.
your house you have a rooftop deck?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
That's because you've never stopped by there when I've invited you to.
You weren't there the last 9 times I was there.
Yeah.
Were you there the night before Keenan's?
At his house? No.
No, I just meant down the shore in general.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I didn't get an invite this year. I'm not just going to stop over. I would never just stop over someone's house. Anyway, what was I going to say? Oh, I was going to say every year I did the same thing. Like, okay, where are we going to go? This is where we're going to see the fireworks. And Jace never liked fireworks. So I would take him every year. It didn't scare him or anything. He would, like, almost like they were not there. He would be more, when he was little, like, he would play with the little glow sticks, or he'd find a rock and he'd kick that down the street. And I'm like, do you see? And he's like, uh-huh. And like, that was it.
Does he like it more now?
I think he's a little more interested in it, but he still just likes the like party, the gathering, like whoever's around.
I'll tell you this, Claire, my wife, loves fireworks, and we always have to try to make some sort of effort to see the fireworks. This year, because we have this dog that we have adopted recently.
Oh, yeah.
Not so good with
it.
Yeah, ours don't like them either. It sucks.
Yeah, so we're going to stay home and crank the TV.
Yeah. Well, two things. Kathy, for some reason, I hated fireworks growing up. I was terrified of them. So I remember going to we would go to the Collingdale fireworks every year, and I literally would hide under my parents' lawn chairs. Like, I just was terrified of them. Yeah.
Okay.
But I'm a big boy now, and I'm not as scared.
Right. Come out from under the chair and tell them how you used to take your bike on the Golden Gate Bridge.
But I passed it. But I'd also just seen if you get a puppy and you want to teach them to not be afraid of fireworks, what this person did is that every time the dog ate when he was a puppy, they would play loud like sound effects in like another room, and progressively it got louder. So as the dog was eating, it didn't bother him as much. I guess associated with good things.
Yeah. Okay. So anyway, Kath has got a few of the fireworks display locations and whatnot.
Yeah, so most of them are taking place on July 3rd or the 4th. And in Philadelphia, on July 3rd, the Battleship's going to do fireworks. And then on July 4th, you have the Wow Wow Welcome America. And then also the dinner cruise on Columbus Boulevard. They're going to do some fireworks. In Bucks County on July 4th, looks like most of them are July 4th in Bucks County. Sesame Place, Quakertown Community Day, and then Southampton Days Fair. In Chester County on the 4th, Tredyffrin Township Celebration in Chesterbrook, and then the Good Neighbor Day in Downingtown, both of those doing fireworks.
I go to that one in Tredyffrin. It's at Wilson Park. It's right off of 202, and highly recommend. But if you're going to go to that one, get there early and find parking, because the park itself gets way overcrowded with cars.
Yeah, the parking is like, in any of these, it's always an issue.
Some of them, in fact, find the one that gets you for example, we would go down to we'd have dinner on the Marshall and watch the fireworks.
Where would you park for that?
Well, that's the question. Literally, one time we went down, it was just recently, we're down there, we're going to watch fireworks. It was around the holidays, I think it was. We pulled in, Claire goes in to make sure they know we're on our way. Parking was so terrible that I just said, "Hun, let's forget it. Let's go home. It's ridiculous." I was outside on Delaware Avenue. I had not moved past the Marshall. She just walked right back out of the restaurant, got in the car, and we went home. But it took about 2 hours.
Oh, my
God. Oh, no. Kath, I have a list here that Marissa handed me. I had no idea, Preston. Those are all the places from today through Saturday that Celebration Fireworks is having their fireworks
our
displays.
friends at Celebration.
Dude, I had no idea. Look at all the places that they're going to be.
How many is that?
Dozens.
On Wednesday the 3rd alone, they'll be at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different places. On the 4th, they'll be at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 different. In fact, they're doing it in Skippack, which would be my area that we would go to see. They're the top of the top, man. They are amazing. Of course, they're the ones that do our food trucks and fireworks events. So, in fact, Marissa says you can go to Celebration Fireworks Facebook page to see their full list of events. So they're top notch.
I love their fireworks displays, man, especially the balls of fire.
Yes.
And the drone show they did for us was amazing.
In Delaware County, Upper Darby Independence Day fireworks at Bonner, Bethel Township at Bethel Springs Elementary School. On the 4th in Delaware County, Aston Township is doing fireworks at Sun Valley High School. And then they have one on July 6th at the Ridley Park Borough. Will do theirs on the 6th. And then in Montgomery County on July 3rd, Conshohocken does theirs at Sutcliffe Park. That is my absolute favorite. I mean, I've seen the ones.
Where is this now?
In Conshohocken. I've
Okay.
seen the ones
yeah.
in the city. You know, I've gone to Welcome America. I've gone to a bunch of them. Conshohocken is right up there with the best of them. I mean, they put on for a small little town. They put on a great fireworks display.
I once went to one in Narberth, and
yeah, that's on this list too.
Right. So, and it was really nice. But I remember, Preston, I was sitting there, and I'm like, wow, we are really close to where all this is going off. Like, if one of those things falls over laterally,
right, we're dead.
we are dead.
Well, and these fireworks in Conshohocken, the traffic goes past my house getting to and leaving from there.
Oh.
Do you walk there? Or
we actually you can watch it from a number of spots. Like they're so good that a lot of the houses in the borough, people will sit in their front lawns. You can view it from there. You can go to the firehouses. You can sit in their parking lot and you can see it. Or obviously, if you go to the park, there's tons of people there. They usually do. I'm not sure. In the past, they've done like a little festival ahead of time. They're probably doing it again this year.
if you're down the shore, is there a beach town that allows you to stand on the beach and see all the fireworks down the coastline from all the other beach towns? Do you know what I mean? Like, is there one
vantage point that gets you everything?
Yeah,
because like curves. So I guess you could still see over the towns.
Do you know what I thought was impressive is going to like AC? Yeah. And, when you go out.
Theirs is pretty good.
Theirs is pretty damn good.
Hey, Case, what if you're like on the south end of Brigantine? Because there you could look over to AC's, and then you could probably look north to some of the, like Long Beach Island or whatever from Brigantine, and maybe even past Atlantic City if you're lucky enough, on a clear night or whatever.
I think Atlantic City would cover it though.
Kind of a big, being an AC.
What about Frigantine?
I think maybe somewhere in Sea Isle or Avalon, because I feel like that juts out a little bit more.
Yeah, but
because I was at, all right,
but Avalon comes out farther. So like if you're in Sea Isle, you can see Avalons, but that's what I was saying. Maybe you could see over the towns, but you can't see straight down the beach.
You can see, because I just rode my bike there on Friday, where the Avalon Sea Isle Bridge is. You can see Atlantic City clear as day.
Yeah, if it's a clear day, you can.
Yeah.
I've been out on a boat, Case, on 4th of July. We went fishing, and you can look back towards the shore, and you can see the fireworks displays from a bunch of different towns.
Cool.
Yeah, all you have to do is go out like 2 or 3 miles.
That's the way it is on our roof. You can see Cape May.
You should invite Kathy over.
Avalon. I know. She should come by sometime.
Wait, is this a thing?
What? Everyone is every weekend. They're all at Preston's deck.
Wait, is this it? Am I the only one that hasn't seen your house? Is that why you're saying this?
I haven't.
Steve hasn't.
No.
Everybody else has, I think.
But I
Nick,
don't
have
go
you
down.
been mine?
I don't go down to the shore.
I've seen it from the outside, but you remember you locked the doors when I got there.
Yeah. You're like, don't let him in.
Don't talk.
You turn all the lights out.
Yeah.
It's a Quiet Place 3.
Hide.
They're not home.
Nick's outside.
All right, on July 4th, we're still in Montgomery County, right? Yes, we are. On July 4th, we have the Upper Merion July 4th celebration. That's in King of Prussia. Waltz Golf Farm in Limerick. All-American Fireworks in Eagleville. Skipback Township Fireworks in Collegeville. And then, Steve, the Narberth Fireworks, they're also on July 4th. And then now we'll get to New Jersey. On July 3rd, Haddon Township has their fireworks in Westmont. Barrington Borough. And then the Freedom Festival in Camden. And then at the Jersey Shore on July 3rd. Ventnor, it looks like Ventnor is the only shore town doing it on the 3rd. The rest of them doing it on the 4th. Sea Isle, Ocean City, Margate, Avalon, Stone Harbor, Wildwood, Cape May.
Is there any, in fact, I sent the list over to you guys, but I didn't even look to see if there's any drone list. Are they happening as well?
As a matter of fact, there is with our friends with Celebration Fireworks. They have their drone show in Middletown. Well, freak that. That's in New York.
Freak that.
It's in Frigantine.
By the way, thank you for coining that. I've never heard anyone say Frigantine before.
Me neither.
But we have to do something
we
with
have
that.
to create our own, Frigantine.
Lidditz on the 4th of July, they'll be Frigantine. But yeah, if you go to Celebration Fireworks, their Facebook page, you can see which ones of their shows includes the drones.
Live in Frigantine.
You know what I do want to see? I want to see a series of fireworks displays from an airplane.
I've seen that.
That would be cool.
Yes. I was on a plane and it was I forget when, Case, but it's pretty cool. You know what? My brother, my older brother Gene, I think he was on this detail, but when they would do the fire display over the East River, the fireworks display, they do it every year. It's a big one. they fly security around, and they have to from helicopters keep an eye on everything.
Do any of our skyscrapers have observation decks where you would? But I mean specifically for evenings on which there are fireworks, where you can see a 360.
So that's a great point.
Look at all these fireworks. That'd be a great event
to get a 360 view.
Yeah,
and I'm trying to
see them all over the place.
Marissa's the expert on all that. There's the restaurant 19.
19 it is not open anymore. Yeah, I know. That's a sad one.
But it was open 18 years ago.
No, I think Casey nailed it. The Four Seasons, definitely. And then
you're not going to get 360 there, but you are going to get
a pretty good,
a decent.
yeah.
I would say at least 180. Yeah.
Even on like Phillies nights, you could see all the way down to the ballpark.
But I was just curious if they have any
like an event. Upstairs.
Yeah, like come and watch the fireworks.
Buy a dinner, get this, get a free hat and a noisemaker.
A lot of the apartment, like a lot of the
and
buildings
a COVID test
that have a rooftop pool or whatever, like they'll do stuff for their residents.
Okay, that would be cool.
It's so old. I don't even know if you guys have it, but I think it may have been like one of the first flubs that I had on the show. I was talking about fireworks. I remember this, and it was fireworks at the Borgata, and it's a clip of me going like, I don't know, like I think I was trying to say Borgata or whatever, but I remember I was
wish we had
talking
that.
about the fireworks. But
was it the gigantic?
Yeah, I think so. I think that's it, because I was talking about a giant dollar sign.
Okay,
and they had
I might have that.
big bees in the sky. But that was a really good. I don't know if they still do it, but I stayed at a room at the Borgata, and you could watch from your room, and it was awesome.
All right, that's pretty cool.
So if you can get a little creative, you can find these good possibilities, vantage points. Honestly, along City Line here, and they do it. You don't have to go down to the art house, to the art museum, museum to see the fireworks. The vantage point is right there.
It's right there, the parking garage.
The art house.
They're showing Rub and Tug tonight at 9.
The art house.
Yeah. But you know what I'm talking about, Nick, right over here.
I'm still laughing at Art House.
You also can get a free display after any of these fireworks displays.
I jig on it.
That's it.
I jig on it. I jig on it.
But you can get a free display with people who just start their own fireworks after any fireworks celebration.
I jig on it. I jig on it.
And that's good.
I jig on it. I jig on it.
Okay.
I didn't realize
There it is.
Neighborhood fireworks have gotten a lot worse over the last 5 or 6 years, and that's not me being an old man complaining. Like I think maybe it started during COVID or whatever, but like fireworks just being shot off randomly by whoever has some in the city.
Well, that's the thing too. So out my way as well. Every now and then, somebody who has gone out and driven to wherever you can get these mortar-sized things, and they'll pop them off on an unsuspecting night.
Yes,
and it's like, all right, that's fun, but not tonight. Not tonight.
Yeah.
Not when we're all not expecting it.
I have to say, in my area, it has diminished. Like it's been really bad for a number of years, but it's gotten a little quieter, and I don't know if the police are more on the. Making more rounds or whatever, but yeah, I do appreciate that because it got unbearable for a while.
That's the only problem with watching, and I like watching the fireworks from down on the beach, but man, on the 4th of July especially, everybody up and down the beach are lighting off their own fireworks, and which is fine, but when the actual fireworks display starts, stop so we can watch that, and so you know what I mean, and then when that's over, then you can do your stuff.
And also, if you are going to shoot off your own fireworks, remember to follow these safety tips.
Hello, this is Joseph Magrucci of the famous Magrucci Fireworks family. This year, as you celebrate the 4th of July, do the smart thing and leave the fireworks to the professionals like me. Remember, even though they're pretty, fireworks are explosives and can go off without... Oh, that shouldn't have happened. Let me pull myself up on this box over here. Oh, God. Oh, boy. Oh, help me. I got a box of sparklers wedged in my ass.
Help.
Yes.
Wow.
Please be careful.
Dangerous. And they're the professionals.
Follow those safety instructions for sure. All right, interesting stuff. So I'm sure you can find a nice list of what's going on, but there are lots of options for you to be able to take in the fireworks this season.
I switched my Delco trim lights to red, white, and blue clays.
Oh,
yeah.
I got to do that right now.
And they will start on the 3rd, by the way. All right, we will take ourselves a quick break. We'll come back in a moment. Some bizarre file stories on the way, as well as your Dorney word, and possibly getting you some tickets to join us for the Preston and Steve Day Off at Dorney, which is a week from Thursday. Crazy. We'll be right back. Stay with us.
Preston and Steve on 93.3.
App on your phone, it'll tell you your last 70 requests, and mine are always sort of the same thing.
Okay.
You know,
I mean, it records everything, so you can find out every single request that you've asked.
I am using them all the time throughout the day.
But you know what? Like, you're busy, Steve. I know somebody, Nick, who can probably come over to your place, who I think is in between gigs right now. Gary Lauer is not doing anything right now. His house is closed.
You know what? Honestly, you don't even need an echo. Just have Gary hands.
Yeah.
It's pretty hot out there.
Just have your own Gary.
I'll turn it on for you. Lights on.
All right.
Hey, Gary, lights on.
All right, 1 second. There you go. Gary, should I wear a sweater outside? I'll be right back. It's pretty chilly. Lauer.
Lauer.
Yeah, Lauer.
That's what it would be.
Yeah.
Hey, Lauer.
Yeah,
Lauer.
because Gary would be too common.
Yeah.
Hey, Lauer, play Allman Brothers. Lauer, switch to Skinnerd.
Hey, Lauer.
Yes. Switch to Killers. Somebody told me.
All right.
Hey, Lauer, play MMR.
Well, don't you have to kind of have like a bing bong prompt?
Yeah.
You know. Hey, Lauer.
Working.
Play Summer Breeze by Seals and Croft.
Summer breeze.
I met a guy.
Bill parties hard.
I met a guy.
Let's do some heroin.
At our gig the other night, who is Bill's neighbor, and he told me you should hear Bill at church because Bill is a lector.
He's a lector, yes.
And so he speaks at church. Could you imagine being at church and you hear the other people that are kind of speaking like this, and Bill steps up to the microphone.
And then Jesus.
I didn't know this.
Oh, yeah.
Said Peter, you'll be the third leg of the stool.
Yes.
The word of the Lord.
The Romans are the low-hanging fruit in this scenario. Forgive them, Father, for they know not what they do.
David actually slung some fruit instead of a rock.
Who had the roast beef?
But,
I give this resurrection an A+.
But listen, when in my short amount of time that I was going to a Catholic church, my wife is Catholic, and the priest initially spoke at such a level, and you guys know my hearing.
Oh, yeah.
I sat there. I'm like, what am I even doing here?
What is he saying?
What is the point of me being
Honestly?
here? I don't hear anything.
You would want a Bill Weston. You'd want someone who projects.
Yeah. It was just I'm like, the whole time I think this is a waste of time.
Listen to me, Preston.
Yeah.
We've got a priest at our parish that performs each Sunday.
Oh, it's about him then, huh?
He's very nice. He shakes everybody's hand afterwards, and he's a nice. But it's.
I'm going to improve
you want
on
a
the
show,
word of God.
and you want to be able to hear. You can come to my church, Preston.
Right.
Okay.
Does he do close-up magic as well?
No, but he's interactive. The kids get to come up on.
Watch me kick the cap off this block. Now, as Jesus kicked the Canaanites.
Steve, he kicks the bottle. He gives the cap off of the wine.
Snuffs out the candles.
That could work too.
Yes.
That could work too. I mean, who wouldn't find that entertaining?
Kicking a few Eucharists into the mouth. Watch this.
When I was on an
Hold that Eucharist up about just so. You can travel down a street named after you. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I think a statue would be more awesome.
You like a statue?
I think
on top of a horse with a raised sword?
Yeah, with rearing
That's
up.
Preston Elliott.
Yeah, rearing up both of its front hooves in the air.
Yes.
I'd love to have that.
Wait a second.
He fought in the Civil War?
What does that mean? There's a difference.
It doesn't mean anything.
It doesn't mean nothing.
There was a long-standing myth, at least this is what I've read, that it would depend on if there was one leg raised or two, whether they died in battle or, but...
Oh, I heard completely other.
Apparently that's
I heard gay, not gay.
They're gay or not gay.
Gay general.
Gay general. Oh, she's on one foot.
Ladies and gentlemen, this gentleman was gay because both the horses' front hooves are up. I don't think that's accurate. No, trust me.
No, it's true.
Yeah, I read a book.
Yeah.
What does it mean when all 4 hooves are on the ground?
Polyamorous.
Yeah, exactly. They could anything.
Anything goes.
They're just looking for love. All right, so they're gonna fix that.
Bi-curious. If they're standing alongside the horse.
Thank you, Kathy. You know what's interesting is sometimes when just by knowing that something still exists, even though you don't really use something any longer, can be comforting. And then when you find out when that thing is going away, even though you haven't used it for a long time, it's very sad.
What?
Mad Magazine is going to stop publishing issues this fall.
Yeah.
And we were subscribing a few years ago, like 3-4 years ago. My kids, like one of them picked up, saw a Mad Magazine, got it, liked it. And I'm like, oh, done deal. We're signing up for this. I love Mad Magazine. Mm-hmm. And we haven't been subscribers for a couple of years. But when I heard this, I was so bummed out. I loved Mad as a kid. It was just my favorite thing to get in the mail.
Likewise, Mad Magazine was the best. I also got Cracked Magazine.
Yeah, I did too.
Then I progressed into the National Lampoon.
Mm-hmm.
So that was, and that helped instruct my comedic chops along the way. So many comedians, so many people, just people in general who love humor, loved Mad Magazine because it was a subversive comic book for kids. Adults read it too, but it was obviously...
Yeah, because it would flirt with adult material.
It would, all the time.
Not blue material, but it would...
Political movie parody, stuff like that. But it was very cool. And it had a litany of great artists and features. Spy versus Spy. You had...
Don Martin,
Mort Trucker, Al Jaffe. The fold out, the fold in, as they called it in the back, you would have a picture, you could fold it to become another picture. Alfred E. Neumann, of course, a legendary character. They had the TV series. But man, when that would come in the mail,
do you still subscribe to any magazines? Do you get magazines at
last
home?
magazine I used to get at home was because we signed up for one of our family members was selling subscriptions, so we're getting Entertainment Weekly, and then that sort of went away. But in my heyday, I subscribed. I used to get Famous Monsters of Filmland, Starlog, Fangoria, National Lampoon. I was getting lots of magazines at home fairly frequently.
I used to get Entertainment Weekly for work.
Oh, yeah.
I used to get that, but I still subscribe to a couple. I'm Golf Digest and Golf Magazine.
There you go.
I still want the hard copy magazine in there. I have a hard time reading magazines, a full magazine online. You know what I mean?
On the crapper.
Now articles, I can see, picking up here and there through aggregator sites and stuff like that. But if I want to dive into a full magazine, what they have to offer, I still need the hard copy. So, did you ever subscribe to dirty magazines? Because I did. The only one I ever had.
Playboy.
I had a prescription. God knows I needed it.
Son, you need something for your boner. Take 2 Hustlers and at night cut it in half. Cut Beaver magazine in half.
I had a subscription to Playboy, but that's the only one that I could ever. That one I could get away with.
You could,
but
though.
You're not embarrassed about it.
I couldn't subscribe. Penthouse, maybe. But then when you get into your Hustlers and We and, whatever the other magazines Cherry.
Wouldn't it blow your mind that people would get home delivery? Like, because I remember, there were subscription cards in these things for the other magazines. Like, who's getting Sweaty Vagina magazine at home? Here's your bills, and that looks like a good issue. Now, obviously, they would seal them specifically for the mailing, but still, you could tell what it was.
I never had subscriptions. The only one that I had were there's other two I mentioned earlier, but I was totally into scary movies when I was younger. So Fangoria. What was the other one?
There was Fangoria, there was Starlog, there was Famous Monsters of Filmland, there was, like I said, the Monster Times was another one of them. Another one? Am I missing them?
You're missing one. There was Fangoria, not Fantasia. It was
Biggins?
Yeah.
Jugs. Jugs, and they're
Areolas.
people that are reminding us the names of
Butthole.
Some of the other. I subscribe to Butthole magazine.
What's this one about?
It's a picture of a guy with a pipe. I'm a butthole reader. For this Christmas, give Dad what he wants.
Yeah.
Butthole.
Steve, what are you reading?
I'm reading Butthole, Preston. Telling me how I can set up my stereo. Apparently, you have to run the cords through your butthole.
Oh, yes.
Oh, what are you reading there?
Oh, I was just reading Butthole magazine, telling me how to get a more effective home theater. Apparently, it works better if you put the cord through your butthole.
Oh,
my God. Oh, this is the 10 tastiest cheeses for the holidays. Many of them are better if you put them in your butthole. Some guy with an ascot on.
Yeah. Everything.
Lord Buddington.
An ascot.
An butthole. An abscot. Oh my God. Okay. You know what? I think now that I'm reminiscing, fondly about Butthole magazine. No, I'm pretty certain it had to have been Mad Magazine. Had to have been my very first subscription to anything.
I'm going to say likewise.
Yeah.
I loved it so much, and there's just. Do you remember when you would see something in it, and it's not like you could do today. Obviously, you would look at this, you'd lend the magazine.
I never read it.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I don't.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, the only thing that I know that what you're talking about is Alfred E. Neumann and that little thing in the back.
But Preston,
the fold.
So Case, not only would you have the picture in a lot of these cases, but what you would love is in the background there'd be like flies with little fly lines around them.
Yeah.
Or there'd be these little things that they would do to just augment the picture that made it great.
Yeah, agreed. And
the artists were great.
There were almost little Easter eggs throughout as well, and outside of the frames
all
and
over
things
the
like
place.
that. Yeah. So you really had to. You could spend a lot of time reading the magazine. It wasn't just you pick it up and tear right through it. I mean, I would hang on to them and go back and see things that I would miss the first time around.
I remember laughing out loud, as a kid, and one of the first times really laughing that profoundly, and that carried over to National Lampoon, which again, great memories of that. And Nick, you saw the documentary about
with Will Forte.
Yeah, and they
phenomenal.
I remember they did a piece on. It was an old style brochure for the largest ocean liner ever built. I think it was called the Tyrannic. And the artist illustrations were done in that sort of Art Deco style, where, they drew the ship on such an enormous scale that you were just howling with laughter.
Yeah.
You can't describe it. You have to see it. But to have that reaction from a magazine that you're sitting there, to read something and laugh that loudly is just... You don't get that.
Mad Magazine had published 550 issues prior to its reboot, by the way, which was in 2018, I believe. DC purchased Mad Magazine in 2017, but they're going to hang it up. At its height, it had 2.8 million subscribers.
Now they took
which was in like 1973, I think.
They took a big hit when editor Max Sherman went over to handle the chores at Butthole. And,
yes, exactly.
Do you know what you're getting into over there at Butthole?
Oh my God. Butthole magazine. Someday.
Yeah, I'm curating their wine list.
Yeah.
Apparently it tastes better when you drink it out of someone's butthole.
But it's sad. It's sad that it's going away, even though I haven't, actively been a subscriber for a couple of years. But nonetheless. Anything from Silicon Valley to Patriots Day to Crazy Rich Asians to It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. The list goes on, ladies and gentlemen. This is Jimmy O. Yang.
Yeah.
How you doing, Jimmy?
Morning. I'm doing well. It's
Excellent.
great.
Thanks for being here.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Patriots Day, you were fantastic in.
Thank you so much. Sadly, not a lot of people watched it.
Your character was the one who was kidnapped, held hostage by those guys, and eventually escaped and alerted the police. Hey, I know where these guys are. I know they are.
Preston and Steve's Bizarre File.
Brought to you this morning by Families Behind the Badge Children's Foundation. Donate to Casey's team, the WMMR Rock and Rollers, for the Bend to the Shore Bike Tour. It's July 21st, benefiting the Families Behind the Badge Children's Foundation. You can visit PrestonandSteve.com and get all of the info. I have a number of stories to pass along to you. We will start with this one. Residents of a Connecticut neighborhood are dealing with a stinky situation after a manure truck rolled over, collided with a car, and spilled its odoriferous cargo.
Oh, man.
I think there was a guy
awesome.
named Biff who actually got completely covered in it. No, but Ann Bedard, whose house is located at the intersection, said that she heard the sound of the crash and rushed to investigate. She discovered a manure truck had rolled over and struck her neighbor's car, causing it to spray manure on her yard, a neighbor's yard, and their homes. She said it was literally a waterfall of brown.
Oh, dear God.
Said all of a sudden we see the sewer come out of the truck, and then the petrol was coming out of the top. It was just flooded down our property. Nicholas Probst, who was on the scene with a team Wednesday to help clean up the spill, said, we're going to go down 3 or 4 inches and make sure that nothing seeped beyond that.
I think that's one of those times in life where you go get a hand grenade, pull the pin out, and hold it in your hand.
He said, then we'll come back in tomorrow with fresh material and seed and replace everything that gets dug up today.
Wonderful.
The cause of the crash is still under investigation. The driver of the truck sustained only minor injuries in the crash. A newly returned search warrant accuses a former school resource officer of shooting a Selma teacher with a taser. Former Selma police officer Dania Tavares is not facing charges. However, the 26-year-old is under investigation by the State Bureau of Investigation. So the search warrant states a teacher claimed Tavares assaulted her with a taser. The middle school teacher reported the alleged assault to the school's principal. Tavares worked as the resource officer at the middle school. Now, the teacher asked Tavares, and this is an interesting back and forth, by the way, of dialogue.
I'm curious.
The teacher asked Tavares what the taser was, and she responded by saying, I'm going to tase you with it.
Don't tase me, bro.
The teacher responded by saying, no, you're not. Tavares repeated, I'm going to tase you with it. Tavares then tased the teacher, making contact with the teacher's left hip area. The teacher screamed and told Tavares that it hurt. The teacher also claimed that she had bruises. Tavares responded by saying that she did not do it, quote, full force, and that she had, quote, tased kids around here, and they don't act like that.
Yeah, what the hell's going on here?
The teacher asked Tavares if she used a taser on any middle school kids, and Tavares responded saying, the ones that know their parents.
Well,
What in the hell does that mean?
Man,
Police
I don't like the idea of the teacher walking around with a taser.
No, it wasn't. It was the resource officer who had the taser and was tasing the teacher. Police acknowledged the search warrant and referred to the case to the SBI. The teacher and the student at the school knew Tavares by her nickname Jersey.
Yeah.
That was her nickname. She resigned in April, by the way. So I don't know what her deal was, but she felt it was the right thing to do. A man who went on a rampage in a hospital mortuary, violently and sexually attacking dead bodies.
Oh, no.
Was told by a judge that there was, quote, a very, very dark side to him as he was sentenced to 6 years in prison.
Yeah, we got that.
So this was in England. Damon Tingay broke into the Diana, Princess of Wales Hospital in Grimsby in the early hours of March 17th and was caught on video opening a number of fridges and interfering with the bodies. He had spent 2 hours cycling around the hospital grounds, evading security guards. Passing the sentence, the judge, John Thackeray, told him, when you thought that you had evaded them, you entered the mortuary by forcing an external door, which happened thereafter as shown on video. The footage played in the court showed Tingay drinking from a bottle before opening the door to the mortuary, which had no lock and was held closed only by a magnet. Footage of the incident was shown to the judge in private during the hearing.
Is this the violation of the corpse?
Tingay punched the body of one man twice in the face and performed sex acts on 2 other male bodies.
Don't mind if I do.
A total of 10 bodies were disturbed by Tingay opening the fridges or removing their shrouds. The prosecutor, Jeremy Evans, said the footage showed that the 4 minutes into the attack, hospital staff caught Tingay, who was detained by security.
I mean, it's not bad enough you're dead and then you have to put up with this.
Evans said that when Tingay was arrested, he was described as volatile, shouting and screaming that he had done nothing wrong, and at one point claimed that he had been blamed for a friend's suicide and he was seeking answers.
My man, I'm going to have to tell you, he did a couple things wrong.
In an interview with police, he said he had no memory of the incident. At an earlier hearing, the father of 3 pleaded guilty to the sexual penetration of a corpse.
God.
So he is going away for 6 years after that. All right, and then in what may be the biological equivalent of getting struck by lightning, get ready for this, a very unlucky man in the Philadelphia area took a very rare bee sting directly to the eyeball. And things went badly from there. As one might expect, the 55-year-old went to the emergency department where doctors tried to extract the injurious insect stinger from the man's right eye, but it soon became apparent that they didn't get all of it.
Oh, bees!
2 days after
actual audio.
After the bee attack, the man went to the Wills Eye Hospital with worsening vision and pain in the pierced eye. And at that point, vision in his right eye deteriorated to only being able to count fingers. The eye was swollen, inflamed, and bloodshot. Blood was visibly pooling at the bottom of his iris. And right at the border between the man's cornea and the white of his eye, ophthalmologists spotted the problem. A teeny spear-like fragment of the bee's stingers still stuck in place.
That's all it needed. Wow.
Treating ophthalmology expert Talia Shoshani and Ziba Syed made a critical recommendation. They said if you happen to be among the ill-fated few who are stung in the eye by a bee, you should make sure you see an eye doctor specifically.
Not a proctologist?
Not a proctologist. They said, I am not surprised that the ER missed the small fragment. They pulled out the majority of the stinger, but the small fragment was only able to be visualized by a slit lamp.
God.
Referring to a microscope with a bright light used in eye exams. After finally getting the entirety of the little dagger out, Shoshani and Syed had prescribed a topical antibacterial and prednisolone eye drops, and at a 5-month follow-up, the patient had recovered, and the vision in his right eye had improved to 20/25.
Okay.
Right in the eyeball by a bee. That's hardcore, man.
So what you take? You have the option: eyeball, one of your balls.
My ball.
Okay.
I would take my nutsack over an eyeball any day.
Okay.
Yes. Isolate that, please.
You just isolated yourself.
I know.
Grab that.
Yeah, grab that.
But it's honest and it's true and it's real.
But yeah, imagine that. I mean, you're excruciating. Listen, it would hurt down there, but the not being able to like open your eye and that.
I don't use my balls to see.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
All right. Quickly, I need to mention that we have a Dorney word for you to enter. If you are interested in joining us for the President's Eve Day off at Dorney, which is a week from this Thursday, it'll be on July 11th. What you need to do is go to the Preston and Steve Show's social channels, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, whatever we're using, and enter the word Woodstock.
Woodstock.
Yes, Woodstock, because they have the Family Fun Planet Snoopy area, by the way.
Oh, I cannot wait.
Is part of the Snoopy characters. So enter that now, and you could win a 4-pack of tickets for the event, and that would include, obviously, getting in and early and free parking and all of that good stuff. So enter the word Woodstock on any of our socials right now. Before we take a break and move on to our next segment, we are excited to welcome our next guest. He's been here many times. We love having him in. And of course, you know him from Mystery Science Theater 3000, but he's here to talk about Blobfest.
Yeah!
It's Matt. Matt McGinnis is joining us again.
Thank you so much for having me.
How you doing, man? Nice to see you.
It's good to see you guys too. I was just thinking we should just have like an annual day where I just keep coming back and promoting
we
stuff.
We could do that.
It seems like we're in that groove right now.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
I just watched the Criterion collection of the original Blob.
It's great.
It is a great movie. It is everything that encapsulates what that time and movie sci-fi was. It's an inventive movie. The concept of the creature itself was so revolutionary.
Yeah, it doesn't look like anything.
Right.
It's just a form.
Right.
If that.
And Steve McQueen and everybody else. And it's also, we can lay claim, rightfully so, to ownership of the locations.
That's right.
And we did our Christmas Miracle broadcast from the Colonial Theater.
I saw that.
Yeah, it was so much fun.
So much fun.
We
yeah.
loved it. And they had it might be your prop, the blob in the back backstage there was a blob prop.
Oh, like the big.
Yeah.
That's there every year. That thing has been there. I can't remember how long it's been there, but I mean, this is going to be the 25th Blobfest, which is incredible. And that thing's been there since like the beginning.
Wow.
It's crazy.
I love it. And so, what are the events that you're participating in and you want people to know about and all that good stuff?
Well, the big thing, obviously, is the Friday night run out. That's always the big thing every year because there's always the recreation of the scene where everybody's running out of the theater. So we always you're always hyping that up. But this year we're actually doing 2 runouts. So there's going to be one on Friday and then one on Saturday. So if you miss the Friday one, don't worry. You can come to the Saturday one. Saturday is all day. We're just showing the Blob because it's the 25th one. We're just going to show it all day long. And then Sunday, there in the morning, if you feel like, killing yourself, there's a Blobfest 5K, I believe it is, or something like that.
Blobfest 5K.
Yeah. So I won't be there. But later on in the day, I will be there because we are going to be doing, premiering a new show called Matt McGinnis's Movie Riffing Melee. If you're on the radio, you can't see the poster.
But the YouTube audience can see.
The YouTube audience can see this. So I will be riffing the sequel to the film, Beware the Blob from 1972, with Joel Hodgson and Emily Marsh, also from Mystery Science Theater 3000. And it's going to be a lot of fun. The sequel is weird.
And Larry Hagman is in that as well.
He directed it.
Yes, right.
He's in it, but he directed it, which is, it's insane.
It is weird. It is, I kind of like it. You know what I liked? I liked the Kevin Dillon.
I love that
the remake.
We're playing that too on Saturday night.
Because that is much more aggressive. You're actually seeing people dissolve into
brutal.
pulpy matter. Yeah. And it was Shawnee Smith is the, right?
That's right.
Yeah, the lead in that. Yeah, there's a whole Blob. There's a series of Blob-like movies, and there have been Blob ripoffs. So there's a movie called The Stuff.
There's The Stuff, and then I think it might have been the year after in Mexico, I want to say. There's like Kaltiki, the immortal monster, which is a volcanic monster that's basically the Blob.
This amorphous thing,
Yeah, exactly.
So in this the Beware the Blob, what's a real quick synopsis of the story, if you don't mind?
If you've seen the original movie, you've seen this one. The Blob is there. Nobody believes the teenagers that have seen it, and then they spend the whole time trying to convince people it exists.
And it is purposefully, though, a little bit more tongue-in-cheek.
A little bit. I mean, the weird thing about this movie is it's mostly improvised.
Yeah.
Like, there's largely no script. And it
shows.
It really shows. You've got people like Godfrey Cambridge in it, and like, they're just clearly making it up as they go along. Lines are repeated several times by different characters. And wow, I really wish they hadn't done that.
It's great.
But for the treatment you guys are going to be giving it, it's got to be gold.
It's great. Yeah. No, I'm really like proud of how the script has turned out so far. And like, it was weird. Like we've always had our eye on this movie. And, when I first approached Joel Hodgson to like be a part of it, because I worked with him for like the past 8 years on MST, I pitched it to him as like, hey, what if you're the headliner and like we're, riffing it with the Blobfest cast? And he was like, no, you know what? This should be your thing. Like you've had like the relationship with the theater for so long. And I was like, oh, like that means a lot. Can you still be in it though?
I agree.
Can you hold my hand?
Yeah, I want you to do it though.
Yeah.
No, that's cool. That's cool. So this is the debut of this.
Basically, yeah. This is going to be the first time we do it, and Lord willing, and the creek don't rise, we get to do a lot more. I hope. The Colonial is such a great venue, and I'd love to keep doing this.
Is that a Blobfest pin you're wearing there?
It is, yes. So this is an official Blobfest pin. You can get this at the theater, along with other Blobfest merchandise like shirts and water bottles and
all the standard.
Yeah, Yeah. Snow globes.
What about there anything else genre related? Because it has sort of a con.
Yeah, so
aspect to it as well, does it not?
This year it usually does. I mean, this year because it's such a milestone year.
Because it's the 25th.
We're mostly celebrating Blobfest itself. So Friday is kind of like the Friday night stage show is going to be kind of a love letter to the past 25 years. Saturday is the normal street fair. There's going to be vendors, local businesses get in on the act. I think there's going to be like one of the bars is going to have like a Blob cocktail and stuff like that.
I love that. I love and watching the movie again in the restoration that they did was tremendous.
It's really
there's
great.
So much that is really great, and there's so many wonderfully hokey, absurd moments. The one that I caught again this time around, just watching it. The principal of the school, his own daughter is trapped in the diner where the blob is about to dissolve her flesh. So they go because all the CO2 fire extinguishers are in the school.
Right.
And for a second, he picks up a rock and he goes, I'm going to break the door to get in. I don't have the keys. It's really wrong, but I guess I'll save my daughter from being dissolved into a pulpy goo. It's hilarious.
It's either my daughter or this glass window, and it's a tough choice.
It's hilarious.
Hey, Matt, I'm looking at the poster for Beware the Blob and the riffing melee. It's Matt McGinnis's movie Riffing Melee. It says Joel Hudson and Emily Marsh you had mentioned, and then it says possibly you with a big question mark. What's that all about?
So, yeah, we do have 2 special guests from MST, but we're splitting the movie into 4 segments. Since I only have 2 guests, I'm probably going to need an extra one to help riff one of the segments. So if you're in the audience on Sunday,
that would be a dream come true.
I might pick you to riff the movie with us. So
and it's all ad-libbed?
Well, the movie is.
Yes.
The riffing is, the riffing will be pre-prepared, but if you've never riffed a movie before, if you've never actually seen a riffing script and everything, it is a bit of a mind bender.
Yeah.
Because you have to pay attention to the movie and the script at the same time.
Right.
So it's kind of an exercise to show how challenging it can really be. But the thing is, this is kind of a game show. The audience is going to be helping me rate the performers, give them points and everything, and help me pick a winner.
Interesting.
So if you do a good job, you might become movie riffing royalty.
Or at least get a pin. Yeah,
maybe.
Yeah.
All right, so how about getting tickets to that event for Where the Blob and the riffing?
Any tickets at all for the weekend, you can go to thecolonialtheater.com. You can get tickets for all the screenings all weekend.
For all 3 days?
For all 3 days. I want to say the Saturday night run out, which is at 6:30 on Saturday, I believe that's already sold out. But other screenings on Saturday, the Sunday shows there's still tickets there. So thecolonialtheater.com. And you can, also on Sunday, we're closing out the whole weekend with Creature from the Black Lagoon in 3D. On 35 millimeters.
The original 3D version.
3D version. So
which
if you've
is
never seen it in general, you have to see it in 3D. It's like watching a ballet.
Question, will it be the old school red and blue 3D glasses?
Yes.
Excellent.
So a lot of
Not the digital sunglasses thing.
I love it.
Though they've refurbished a lot of those movies and are using the new technology for the 3D, and they look tremendous.
Yeah, we're going old school.
Old school, though, works, yeah.
By the way, I want to remind you of Matt including us, immortalizing us in Mystery Science Theater 3000 with this clip that played on the show. There we go.
Fries are up. Quick, into your suit.
Oh, damn, I thought we were taking the suits off.
Isn't that the new Preston and Steve catchphrase? Danger, explosive door bolts.
The one that started it all.
Absolutely. We're honored. We are still honored to this day. All right, so if people do want to grab the information, if not able to jot this down right now, where's the best way to get it all?
thecolonialtheater.com. You can also check out the Colonial Theater or Blobfest on Facebook, Instagram. I don't know. Does Twitter still exist? I don't know if
X,
Twitix, whatever they're calling it. Maybe there's information on there, but all over socials you can find stuff about the events.
It's something to be proud of in the area. Absolutely. Ownership of the Blob.
I always say, the Blob is to Phoenixville what Rocky is to Philly.
Exactly. Same thing. And they had the same intellect.
Exactly. Exactly.
And it's the 25th anniversary, by the way. So, yeah.
Will you?
Yeah, there you go.
That's
the Blob right there. It sounds just like Rocky, doesn't it? All right, Matt, it's great to see you. Good luck with the event.
Thank you so much,
Appreciate
guys.
it.
Thank
Matt
you.
McGinnis, guys. Blobfest. It is going on July 12th through the 14th, and you can go to thecolonialtheater.com and get your info. We'll be back in just a moment. Stay with us.
Preston and Steve
on 93.3 WMMR.
Yeah, that guy was amazing. Danny Mang, Chinese immigrant, college student, and this is about, of course, the Boston Marathon bombing. Yeah. And I bugged him every other day. Spoiler alert, he stays alive, in the movie. Yeah. So I bugged him every day when I was in Boston, and we had dinner, went to Chinatown every other day. He was a really nice, warm guy, and he came to the premiere and tapped me on the shoulder. He's like, hey, think he did a great job.
There you go.
Is stand-up comedy where you kind of started, or acting, or where'd you begin?
That's where everything started. I started doing stand-up at the Ha Ha Comedy Club. In L.A. I had to pay $5 for 5 minutes of stage time.
You were born in Hong Kong, correct?
I was born in Hong Kong, yeah.
Came here. I know you have a book called How to American: An Immigrant's Guide to Disappointing Your Parents.
Yes, that's true.
And so you're working at a financial firm, or where was it?
Yeah, it was Smith Barney, which was under Citigroup. And I graduated 2010 from college, which is right after the financial crash of 2008.
It's a perfect time.
Nobody in finance was hiring, and nobody was going to trust a 22-year-old kid with their money.
Right.
You know? So my dad hooked me up with an internship, and like one day he came home, like he was like, Jimmy, you know, great news. They're going to hire you full-time. You're going to be a great financial advisor. And literally like tears of joy was coming out of his eyes. And I thought that was just the worst news ever. Like that to me sounded like a death sentence, you know? And I just didn't know how to tell him. And I was like, I don't want to do this, you know? I had to like disappoint my parents in order to not disappoint myself.
Yeah.
Like, that was the creed that I lived by. So after college, I did that internship for a little bit just to appease my dad, and then after that, I got 3 jobs. And when I graduated, I was a used car salesman. I worked at a comedy club as a doorman in exchange for stage time, and then I was a strip club DJ at night. So I did all those 3 things, still not knowing what I wanted to do. But there was no customers in that club, so nobody ever did.
What was it? Were you doing like day stripping, or was it the night stripper?
It was night stripping. It was after my comedy club show. There was no prime time in that club at any time. I started off with just a stand-up community, which I thought was so cool. That's one of the main reasons why I did stand-up.
So you've seen Bobby Lee's penis then?
Sadly, no. I feel a bit left out.
Wow.
I feel a bit
That
left
guy
out.
gets naked every time he comes in this studio.
Oh, really? I've been to his house, and he still has not shown me his penis.
Like, we're not even Asian.
We're
and we
closer
see
friends,
it.
yeah.
I know. There must be something wrong with me. Maybe he only shows penis to white people.
It might be that.
That might be it.
And he tells you guys about, listen, here's what I do with the white. You whip it out.
But yeah, like Bobby was somebody I looked up to. I watched Matt TV religiously. Steve Byrne was somebody I looked up to. Ken Jeong, and now we're all like really close and good friends.
That's great.
Ken, of course, was in the movie.
Yeah,
it's great.
And you know, we all love each other. And doing this movie, one of the greatest thing, you know, was I felt like I found my creed. You know, of actors, comedians, because we all kind of went through the same phase of disappointing our parents to do this job. We all had the same experience. And like when we're hanging out in Singapore, there was no questions of like, hey, can we go to Chinese food? Like, look, it's not like weird Chinese food. It's just like, no, everybody was just down. We go to authentic Chinese food, and we did karaoke every night. Everybody was just on the same page, and it felt so good.
Did you do work with the Harlem Globetrotters?
Oh, man. You know, people ask me that. It was one of my very first paid jobs ever. So the Harlem Globetrotters, they go to China for like a world tour every year.
Right.
And I was like one of the only Chinese American comedians they could find. This was like 10 years ago. And I was the only one they could afford, I guess. They paid me $200.
To do what exactly?
To be a consultant. So they sent me the script for the Chinese tour to make sure nothing's offensive.
Oh.
Honestly, I didn't even read the script.
You're good to go.
I didn't know. I was like, that was my first job as a comic. I didn't know. And I skimmed through the script. There's something about like they bring out like a Hello Kitty thing, you know, in the middle of their show. I just told them for $200. I was like, dude, you know, Hello Kitty's Japanese, not Chinese. Okay, just so you guys know that. And that was it. That was my $200 worth of advice. And now on my Wikipedia says that I wrote for the Harlem Globetrotters. So.
Silicon Valley, they know not on their radar.
Yes and no. My dad understands comedy a little better than my mom. Like he loved it. My mom watched it for the first time. He's like, "Hey Jimmy, can you not hunch your back?"
He's correcting your posture.
Yeah, I was like, "Ma, I'm." Character in the show. It's like, okay, play someone who doesn't hunch his back.
Another day, another Korn story. Korn has announced that the band will release its 13th studio album, The Nothing, on September 13th. The follow-up to 2016's The Serenity of Suffering has been preceded by a first single called You'll Never Find Me, which arrived on Wednesday.
Again.
Oh, okay. Jonathan Davis said, deep within our Earth lives an extraordinary force.
He's right.
Very few are aware of the magnitude and significance of this place where good and evil, dark and light, bliss and torment, loss, gain, and hope and despair all exist as one, pulling at us every moment of our lives.
Welcome to the deep, dark caverns of energy. You are here because of corn, yes? You are one of us. You make the hallowed sound.
It's not something he
Everyone.
said. It's not something that we can choose to navigate, he says, but
what a bunch of crap.
And it's the only place where balance between these dynamic and polarizing forces exists, where the soul finds its refuge. Welcome to the nothing. Did you just make that?
I just made that.
Put it at the beginning.
One more time.
Yeah, all right.
We are in the nothing. Play the ceremonial sound. Enter.
That's like the password.
Yes, yeah. It's open sesame.
Okay.
You have approached the boulder of truth. To enter the hall of corn, you must emit the sound of recognition. Proceed.
Slowly, the boulder rolls to one side.
Enter. This is as stupid as it gets.
Davis is living.
Why?
Come on in. I love songs like that are just, oh my God, you just said it.
Yeah.
You just said it so plainly, not a lot of, flowery language or metaphors. You just said it straight out. I love
I know one that comes immediately to mind that actually, when I had gone through a breakup, laid it out, and I was like,
I know
got
what it is.
Say it.
Heart of the matter?
You got it.
I knew it.
It's the economy of words.
Telling you.
The message.
Yeah.
It nailed it.
I agree. Don Henley.
Yeah.
And it's so plainly speaks. And he managed to make it all rhyme.
And he made it rhyme.
How the hell do you do that? These guys. But I wanted to throw this out as a subject of the song that gave you the strength, whatever it was. Jim, you're on the air. Good morning.
Hey, guys. Good morning. How are you?
Good. What's up, Jim?
Hey, so 15 years ago, I was working for Johnson & Johnson, and we were working on a new Tylenol product, that's Tylenol Rapid Release Gels.
Yeah.
So I'm down in Puerto Rico. I was down there for about 18 months, away from my family, the whole deal. And we were having a lot of technical problems. We're really dejected because we're thinking we're going to have to tell them to delay the launch and everything. And we're winding up the day around 8 o'clock at night. We're on our way to a small hole-in-the-wall restaurant, and as we're walking into the restaurant, we hear Rocky Going the Distance.
It's ready to release the Tylenol!
And so forth. And
You got a headache?
Are you ready? You got a headache? You want an immediate relief? Then you gotta have Tylenol! Rapid release! Come on! Rapid release! You can't wait? Your head hurts!
But Jim,
it was the weirdest thing, and in Puerto Rico of all places too. It was hilarious.
Regular Excedrin stinks.
But it gave you the strength because you were missing your daughter, and you just to keep on going, right?
I love you.
Exactly.
I miss you so much. But Daddy's working on rapid release Tylenol.
Down here in Puerto Rico.
Oh my God!
You can't come home right now. It's with the Puerto Ricans trying to mix rapid release Tylenol.
I hope no one's calling in for sympathy.
Thanks, Jim.
Not gonna get it.
Because when you got your head, it feels like it's a punching bag. You got to have immediate relief.
Yeah, well, listen, it could come.
What's that up on the roof? It sounds like a seizure.
You have to take a few Tylenol for that, maybe like a billion.
But it's like a billion.
Yeah.
Does it shut down your kidneys?
An artificial tongue that can taste minute differences between varieties of Scotch whiskey could be the key to identifying counterfeit alcohol.
I was watching this story yesterday, and the guy who invented it, Preston, has a really thick Scottish brogue.
Yeah, so they're engineers from the University of Glasgow and Strathclyde in Scotland that created this. Yes.
So and it can. The whole purpose is to distinguish knockoff Scotch, basically
counterfeit alcohol.
Wow.
Well, because you're talking about big money when it comes to
also
some brands of alcohol.
Listen, Angus, I'm taking this home for the weekend. It's the
You guys don't mind? This is from Stephanie Polkas, who wanted to give a shout out to Elise and Billy for their 10th wedding anniversary. It's her daughter. She said, I love you and miss you. So here's a shout out to you guys. And also, this one says, I was hoping you could do a shout out for my mom, Lynn. This is the 2nd anniversary of her passing from colon cancer. And I can't tell you how many people have come up to me saying that my shout out to my mom actually made them go get a colonoscopy.
Wow. Nice.
So we had one last year. And it would mean the world to me if you guys could do it again and really hit the message to get your colonoscopy. Lots of love from Mullica Hill. And that is from Lily Moss. How would you pronounce her last name? Oh, Yerg, Y-E-R-G. So here you go, a shout out. And yes, great idea. Dr. Mike would fully back that up, 100%.
Absolutely.
Also want to give a shout out and a thank you to a listener by the name of Tony. Tony on Saturday dropped by. I guess he has family members that have a place right across the street from my place down the shore.
Oh, nice.
And I was out having a football catch with my son, and he walks up to me. I was like, this guy's walking towards me. I'm like, what's going on here? And he handed me this shirt that I'm wearing right now. And he said, this is an early birthday present. So it's a shirt that says Chuck's Bikerama, and it's from Pee-wee's Big Adventure.
Yeah.
It's one of my favorite movies of all time.
That's terrific.
It was really, really
Very nice.
It's so thoughtful, and I just want to thank you, Tony. I really, really do appreciate it. And it was really, really sweet of him to do that.
That's nice.
And he knows where I live now.
Sure, yeah. He does know where you live. Lots of love from people down the shore. I was there this weekend, and there were a group of people that were on the beach that were kind of camped up next to us, and I had noticed this one gal had, was about to sit on her beach chair, and she didn't have it set up properly, and I'm just waiting for it to happen, and it just collapsed on her and just like clamshelled on top of her.
You can't help but laugh.
And I walked over, and I'm like, I'm sorry, but that was very entertaining. And her and her friends were like, oh my God, you're Preston. Oh my God. And they started freaking out. And one of the gals in their group actually, while we were leaving, a seagull pooped on her crotch.
No. That's good luck, right?
She goes, a bird just crapped on my vag, which was hilarious. But yeah, met lots of people over the weekend who were big fans of the show, and we're just
wonderful.
Happy to be listening to us this summer, which is a wonderful thing. So we do appreciate the love very, very much. There was a story that I came across, and I wanted to open this up for phone calls because it was a Reddit thread that digs into the topic asking, what is the strangest rule that you had to follow when at a friend's house? And there were thousands of responses to this. So
I find this interesting.
Something when you go over to, and especially this is younger, and for whatever reason, there's a rule at this house that never existed in your own home or anywhere else you've been to.
Okay.
And I can give you some really good examples.
Please.
And they will, you will see how unique certain people's house rules are. So if you have one you want to share, please let me know. So this one thread response says, I had a friend whose dad was obsessed with the vacuum lines in the house.
Oh my God.
He would vacuum multiple times a day, and we weren't allowed to walk on them because it would mess them up. So we had to tiptoe around the edges of the rooms if we wanted to go anywhere in the house.
I had a friend who,
seriously,
his mom was the exact same way, and it was only certain rooms, and so it was usually like the living room or the quote unquote formal room. But Steve, it was so like
It was
creepy.
This one room?
It was one.
Okay.
Well, usually one. Sometimes like if she had just vacuumed the entire house or
No,
whatever.
I know this.
But it was lines, and it was almost like Citizens Bank Park. Like there were lines in the carpet, and there'd be a line in one direction and then a line back in the other direction, and you could see where she had vacuumed. And if you messed those up, God forbid, you were out the house, man. You were done.
The Mark Summers thing about Mark Summers
OCD-ish?
OCD, and he had a rug in his house, and he had to make sure all the frill around
that's
it
right.
was all linear and spaced out properly. Yeah.
I had a babysitting job where part of the job was to put the lines in the carpet, Nick, and it was only in one room. Like we had to vacuum because they had a couple of kids, so we had to vacuum the back playroom. But it was okay if like the lines weren't perfect in there. But the center living room, I remember, had dark green carpet, so you could see the lines better in it, and that was part of it. And if they would get home and the lines wouldn't be in it, she'd be like, "Hey, can you make sure you vacuum tomorrow?"
Yeah. Here's another one. Remember, these are staying at a friend's house, and they had a weird rule that is always stuck with you. 215-263-WMNY. This one says, I stayed at a friend's house one night, and the family communicated exclusively through whispering.
What?
Not just hushed voices, like full-on hand-to-ear. And they said it was a serious mind F.
What the hell was that?
That would be effed up. Well, there's a basic one that happens for a lot of people. Some people want you to take your shoes off when you go into a house, which is fairly common. Yeah. I mean, I'll do it. I'm not the biggest fan of it. You know me, in case of deer attacks, you want to have your shoes on.
So you got to run. Got to make that escape. But that one, yes, I definitely get that. It's not as odd as some of the other ones are, but yes, that's sometimes like, really? You want me to take my shoes off?
Yeah.
Here's another one that says, I had a friend in elementary school who had a controlling father who also worked some wacky hours, like he had to be at work at 3 a.m. God bless him for providing for his family, but he forced everyone to adhere to his schedule. He needed to go to bed at 4 p.m., so dinner was at 2:30 p.m.
No.
The landline phone was taken off the hook at 3 p.m., and everyone was expected to complete their evening baths and teeth brushing, etc., and go to bed at 4 p.m. No TV, no nothing.
Could you imagine with your schedule, if you made the rest of the whole family go along with your schedule?
No.
It'd be pandemonium.
That'd be ridiculous. Here's another one that says, your butt must be in the dinner chair at 6 p.m. sharp, even if dinner is not quite ready. And no speaking at the dinner table unless asked a question by an adult. No leaving the table before the father, and they put in parentheses, you could hear the capital F in father, but no leaving the table before he dismissed you. Coming from a family where dinner was a joyful affair, where everyone talked about their day, I was shocked at this. Here is another one that says, I wasn't allowed to throw away any female waste products in the house.
What?
AKA, I'd have to wrap my tampon or pad and throw it out in the outside trash.
They probably had animals.
And I went home after that. You never know.
Yeah.
Unless they had animals in the house that you're trying to keep it away from that.
Yeah, that's what she's saying. Yeah, maybe a dog.
I thought you were saying animals outside in the...
You're damned if you don't do it.
Yeah.
What ends up bypassing your interior pets goes out to the raccoons and squirrels.
Here's, we're going to go to Suzanne real quick. Hi, Suzanne. Good morning.
Good morning.
Hi. So you were at a friend's house and they had a strange rule.
I was a sleepover, and I was probably middle school, and I got up to go to the bathroom in the middle of the night, and the toilet was full of urine and toilet paper. And I was not familiar with if it's yellow, let it mellow. If it's brown, flush it down.
Right.
So I was so freaked out.
So they strictly adhered to that?
Yes.
Wow.
How many times can you let it mellow before it just becomes so pungent?
Mellow, the smell of mellowing piss is horrendous.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm guessing in the morning, maybe, I guess they didn't want to make noise. I don't know, but maybe in the morning it got flushed. But I had never, ever experienced that. And I grew up with, a bunch of brothers, and my parents were frugal with money and everything, but we didn't save water that way.
Come on.
Well, sometimes it's a water thing. Other times it depends. Like island communities will ask that you do that because of septic systems and things.
Right.
We were in Philly with
all right.
water.
All right. It's not that bad.
It's an island.
It freaked me out when I walked in there. Like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Is something wrong?
I'm not a fan. I don't think I could walk out of a bathroom in someone else's house and not flush the toilet.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I'll do it sometimes. At our house, if I
your
pee,
house,
if I just pee a little bit, not a full, I feel kind of bad wasting the water, so I'll
but not
wait
in
till
someone
next
else's house. If you were to take a whiz in their bathroom,
no. But she's saying she stayed over at someone else's house, and they have a rule that is if it's yellow, let it mellow. If it's brown, flush it down.
I'd have to buck the system and I'd have to flush.
You do it anyway.
Yeah, I'd have to. You know, I'm that kind of rebel.
I guess so. Here's another one that says no one was allowed to swim in the swimming pool because it was for decoration only.
Oh my God.
Dude, that for decoration only thing. We had a family right near us growing up, and that was applied to so much in their house. Their entire living room and dining room was for decoration only. Like everything was sealed in plastic.
Yeah, I've heard it
and
for
there were
like
plastic runways on the carpet
for furniture and stuff, but never for a swimming pool.
It's not historical Fredericksburg, for Christ's sake. It's your house.
Yeah, but like honestly, for a pool, that seems insane.
Here's another text that says, I broke the golden rule at my friend's house. I put the peanut butter knife into the jelly while making a sandwich. I was banned for quite a few years.
Whoa.
It's from Mark in Florida. Now, if you didn't wipe off the peanut butter knife before you stick it in the jelly, that's a bit of a faux pas. I wouldn't
think it
ban
is.
you from the house, but you got to clean off the knife.
Curb stomp them.
Maybe that.
Yeah.
Just a little reminder of not to do that around here. We'll go to Fred. Fred, good morning, man.
Hey, what's up, boys and gals?
Yo, bud.
So, once upon a time, a couple 10-year-olds were told we cannot watch TV while playing upstairs at our friend's house. Can't go in his parents' room. They had a hot box. We come to find out we're channel flipping through because we break the rule completely. Channel 2 downstairs is the Weather Channel. Channel 2 upstairs is the Playboy Channel.
All right, access to porn.
It was quite the joy, this Northeast Philly boy.
Oh my God!
Weird rule, maybe not, but yeah, they were trying.
That makes complete sense that you're trying to keep the kids from watching porn. Yeah, so that would it doesn't constitute weird.
Here's the other thing, though. You know, we also came across the fact that in our buddy's mom's nightstand drawer, for whatever reason, we were rummaging around. We came across her D in the drawer.
Wow. Her dildo?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Indeed.
But probably not a good idea to go through your parents.
You big dildo.
Or to bring your friends in to go through your mother's nightstand. I don't think that's cool.
Yeah. Thank you, Fred. Appreciate that.
Later, guys.
Yeah, I wonder about that. I wonder if my kids have ventured into.
Yeah.
There's a nightstand where some things. There's lube.
I guarantee you there is.
And I know that they've come across it before.
Yep.
Did we all? I know I did as a kid. I went through in the master bedroom. I was like, oh, what's going on here? Kathy, did you?
Yeah, but my parents, they either didn't have it or they hid it very, very well because we would go through all their drawers. But I do remember, as this was another babysitting job, the girls that babysat before me went through the woman's drawers up in her room, and she was a single mother, and there was stuff in there, and they were like, come here, and they pulled it all out, like laid it on the bed. I mean, she had a lot of stuff, and they were
Like
showing me
sex
everything,
toys?
and I was like, yeah.
Wait, the kids were?
Not the kids, the
babysitters.
babysitters before me. So she was a single mother, so she would have there would be a babysitter there before me. There were two girls that would watch them,
Kids,
and then
play with mommy's dildos. I'll be back in a half hour.
I would come in later in the day, and so during this, before she would get home from work, so during the switchover, the other babysitters were like, yo, look what we found. I'm like, first of all, I'm not touching that. Second of all, why are you going through her drawers?
Was there anything besides your standard apparatus that was in there?
You know what? I was so young. I don't even remember. Like, I just was like horrified. I was like, oh God, get me out of here.
Yeah, I knew a kid in like 6th grade, and his parents in one of their nightstands, they had like a book about sex, and they also had like a variety of like sexual massage oils and stuff like that.
That
and
was
we were
the weirdest. The weirdest hobby horse ever. It didn't have a head.
I'm gonna go. Hang on. The peanut butter jelly kid that texted in is calling. It's Mark. Hi, Mark. You're on the air. Good morning, bud.
Hey, good morning, guys.
Hey.
I mean, I was like 7 years old when I did this. We wiped the knife off, but the guy's father, he worked shift work, and now I understand it because I worked shift work for many, many years. But he came down and he seen that was a designated peanut butter knife, and it's in the jelly.
Okay.
And we were swimming in this pool and everything else, came in for a quick bite to eat, and next thing I know, he said, Taylor, I need to see you, and he took him and he said, hey, man, he goes, you can't come over no more. I was like, why? He said, you put the peanut butter knife in the jelly.
Oh, my God. Now take your pants off.
So I can understand about flying off the handle and sleep deprivation and everything else. But, yeah, man, I mean, come on. I was 7 years old.
And legitimately, he banned you from the home.
Oh, yeah. We would play hockey out front and everything else. And I wasn't even allowed to go on to get a drink of water.
You don't even get one warning? Like, one warning, you go right to being banned?
He takes peanut butter and jelly very serious.
Very seriously.
Yeah.
You don't understand.
Peanut butter jelly time.
Wow. All right, thank you, Mark. All right, here's a couple more, by the way. I like this one. It says, at a friend's house, I was asked to pay for dinner.
What?
I thought it was a joke, but they legitimately asked me to bring money next time if I expected to eat at the house.
Okay, if you're coming over to the house, you had to pay for dinner.
Yeah.
That is very weird.
Yeah. I
think
can understand if you're like super poor or something like that. and
Sure.
You just can't afford it. But yeah, to actually pay for dinner, that's a tad much. Talking about weird rules you had to follow at someone else's house. Let me go to Jim. Hi, Jim. Good morning.
Hey, good morning, guys.
What's up, bud?
My father-in-law actually has a strict no Judy Garland in the house, period rule.
So she's dead. That makes it easy. You're talking about the music or anything having to relate to Judy Garland?
Anything related to Judy Garland at all is completely banned from the
How did he feel about Tony Danza?
Wait, but why? Because I had a family friend who Roseanne was banned in the house.
Right.
But that was right after she had sung the national anthem and spit and blah, blah, blah. So, I can maybe understand that. But what was the thing that set this guy off about Judy Garland?
What was Judy Garland's
I have
issue?
no idea what set him off. He hates her with a passion. And
Wow.
there's just no Judy Garland in the house, period.
And they kind of lay that out with the first time you visit?
Oh, I was just like, hey, why don't we pop this on? And he's like, oh, no. And everybody in the family was like,
Are you insane? First off, why did they have a Judy Garland album if they hated it?
Yeah. Are you insane? Don't put that on.
Don't do that.
All right. Thank you, Jim.
Oh, yeah, no, not at all. Not allowed.
All right. Thanks.
That is insane. No Judy Garland.
Here's a text says, when I was 7 years old, I slept over at my aunt's house and I asked for chocolate milk. And she said, we only allow chocolate milk on Sunday nights. Okay.
That sounds like a deflection.
Sounds like my house.
Right?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. Only on
No,
Sunday.
we don't have ice cream on any day that ends with a Y.
Kids would sleep. I would have friends sleep over, and they'd be like, "Do you have any soda?" She'd be like, "We have water." My mom, would, "We have water. Do you want some water?"
That wasn't my question.
I guess that maybe they considered it to be a treat or something like that.
Sunday night.
And save it for Sunday night.
Chocolate milk night.
Yeah, football and
Chocolate milk.
Football and chocolate milk.
Yeah.
And then the last one I saw on this list is children at this house they would go to. Children could only drink warm Kool-Aid or water. You couldn't put it in the fridge, and you couldn't use ice cubes. It had to be room temperature. That's weird.
Why?
I do not know.
There were a whole bunch of the things, people used to harp on these things a lot more, like when, shutting a light off in a room and so on and so forth, and when you left the room. And is that something you could even think of pulling off in your house right now, Case?
No.
Yeah, it just doesn't seem to be, or the thermostat or things like that. These were all under the purview of dad or mom, and you had to follow what they laid down. And I don't see that happening much anymore.
Oh, here you go. This is somebody busting on me. It says, Presbo, I know of a house where if you switch the ice dispenser to crush, you must return it to cubes when you're done. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Damn right. Or whatever it was initially set on. You must do that. Here's another text that says, I had a friend whose mom banned anything Beatles because they did drugs. So she was not having.
I
any
wonder
of
when
it.
you let go of that eventually. Yeah.
right?
Now
Yeah.
the two of them are dead. Is it okay?
At some point. I do remember, though, and I don't remember any special rules, though, but of spending the night, and this was like back in grade school, over at a friend's house, and it just being so different from your home experience.
Yeah.
That's all you're used to.
It's like you're on an Amish farm.
That it felt really weird being in other houses and whatever their, even just their furniture or whatever just may have been a different experience and kind of foreign to you.
We'd like you to meet the gimp.
Wait, what?
No.
You better bring him out. Better wake him up.
Saturday night.
Gimp sleeping.
I want to go home.
Yep.
Wake him up then.
Yep. Wake him up. All right. Well,
The worst house visit ever. Pulp Fiction.
Yep.
I mean, I'm trying to, I wish I had something for you guys. Our house was pretty, wide open. And there was a family down the street. They weren't allowed to watch TV. They had a TV in their house that they were allowed to watch Phillies games and Sesame Street, and that was it. But that was kind of it. I
They
feel
were
like everybody
only
was
allowed to
kinda-
watch Phillies games in Sesame Street.
Yeah.
And nothing else.
And nothing else. And it was black and white. And they would
Well,
come
they
over.
spent the rest of the day curing human flesh.
Yeah.
Right. Well, anyhow, it's an interesting topic. So thank you for your calls and your texts. We do appreciate that. All right, I want to remind you about our special Dorney Park word to enter a chance to win 4-pack of tickets for the Preston and Steve Day Off at Dorney, which is coming up a week from this Thursday.
I can't believe it.
Yep, we will be there next to the new Iron Menace roller coaster, but the word is Woodstock. And here's how you want to enter it. Just go to the Preston and Steve Show social channel. So Facebook, Instagram, X, Twitter, and enter that. You'll see the link and you can enter it. And you just might win a 4-pack of tickets for free admission for the day, free parking and early entrance. That means you get to enjoy the rides that are opening early, including that brand new coaster, Iron Menace. And we will be right next to it. What was that?
Kathy was watching something.
No, that's not me.
It may have been me.
I think it was Steve. What you watching, Steve?
It's a trailer for a movie called Movie 43.
Is it scary?
I don't know. I have to watch the trailer.
Why did it pop up like that?
I don't know.
Dorney Park and Wildwater Kingdom. There's a gremlin running around here or something because Nick's phone was going off. And
I will
now
tell you
Steve's
this.
computer.
There have been so many things where I've gone to a page or I'm looking for something or trying to get a name or a reference, and the audio will automatically start running. I'm like, why are you doing that? Why don't I get a say in this?
Yep, I can't stand it. All right, we're going to take a quick break and come back in a moment or two. Don't forget our Word of the Week prize this week. It's a short week. It's only 3 letters. We just want you to be aware of that. So we will give that away on Wednesday. We'll be back in a moment. Stay put. Yeah, it's the artificial tongue.
Here, sit on this for about an hour.
The study
You'll be seeing our Israeli parasites in no time.
involving arranging submicroscopic slices of the two metals in a checkerboard pattern of taste buds.
Look at that tongue go.
Which are around 500 times smaller than those on a human tongue.
So
the scientists measured the plasmonic resonance, or the tiny difference in how much light they absorb, to identify the types of whiskey.
will this be the companion piece to the fleshlight?
Maybe, or the Sibian. It could be used in food safety testing, quality control, security,
frat parties,
really any area where a portable, reusable method of tasting would be useful. But one whiskey expert casts doubt on the artificial tongue's effectiveness. Charles McLean.
This is a crock of crap.
A master.
You and your stupid tongue. I see right through your ruse, you knob niffler. That's a Scottish insult.
Is it?
I just made it up.
It is now. You knob niffler.
Niffling knobs all day.
No, his title is he is a master of the quaich.
You're a master of the quaich.
The Scotch.
You wee weenied prick.
The Scotch whiskey industry's highest accolade.
Oh, it's a compliment I just paid you. I didn't even know it.
Is master of the quaich, by the way.
You're a master of the quaich.
Master of the queef.
And your wife is a master of the queef. Yeah, I said you tongue-building ass.
He said flavor assessment in the whiskey industry is done by smell, taste, and texture. Of all
the 3 R's.
Of all.
What?
I'm Scottish.
Of all the senses employed, smell is the most important, he says.
Absolutely.
Whiskey blenders and quality assessors rely entirely.
Stick your tongue in your nose.
So anyhow, they made an artificial tongue.
You made it. Look at you.
Yeah.
You're finally living the dream. You made your stupid ass tongue.
You fake tongue freak.
You frig nibbler.
Frig nibbler.
He's just making things up.
I'm making them up and they're sticking.
I love it.
I'm rubber, you're glue.
You frig nibbler.
You frig nibbler. You chowder huffer. When an angry Scotsman says it, it carries more weight.
You lollygagger.
He's a carb tickler. That's a compliment.
Here's the thing. When I make jokes about people that have disabilities, never the person with the disability gets mad at me.
Well, there you go.
Ever.
There you go.
It's always the person who knows the person with a disability. It's always the person who is like, my son.
Do you get extra firepower because you are a person of smaller stature?
Yes, I'm a dwarf, midget, person, short stature, and I know it's my voice. You can't tell. I'm not on the radio like, oh, Preston stuff. Woohoo! I don't sound like that. But yes, I get a little more leeway because it's really hard to get mad at the dwarf who's making jokes.
Do you ever have someone get pissed off at you and then not realize that you are, and then like you see them like.
Yeah, on the radio. Yeah, on the radio that happens because, like I said, I don't sound like. And then they come like, "How dare? Well, how would you like it if you have a disability?" It's like, I can't wear adult clothes. Like I gotta pick up chicks with Bob the Builder on my T-shirt. All right, yeah. Like I did a show a few weeks ago, and there was a guy in the audience, and he was in a wheelchair. And he didn't have any legs, right? And I immediately started making fun of him. Right. And he laughing. You could tell he's laughing because the chair was moving back and forth real fast. And the audience got mad. And like one dude stood up. He's like, "Stop making fun of him. What if he gets mad at you?" And I was like, "I'll run up some stairs. I'm not worried. This guy's not gonna do. He's not a threat." So yeah, like it's always the people that don't have the ailment that I'm talking about that get mad.
Do you ever get hit up for do scripts come your way for
yeah. And
what's the most bizarre you've gotten sent your way?
Oh my god.
Because you know you had when the Hervé Villechaize story was being done, right?
Well, yeah, because that's Dinklage though.
Yeah,
that's the problem.
He produced it.
He's the Dinklage is the top guy. I hate Peter Dinklage. It's strictly jealousy. It has nothing to do with him as a person. He's probably a delightful human being, but he's in everything. If they made a movie and called it the Brad Williams story, it would be starring Peter Dinklage. It's madness.
What's the craziest thing you've been offered? Yeah.
Well, the craziest thing I was ever offered, and I actually did it. So this one dude wrote me and said, "Hey, I'm doing a horror film, and I need you to be like a monster or whatever."
Really?
And I was like, "All right, cool." And I had to sit in the chair. They put the mold all around me. You have to sit there for however many minutes.
It's claustrophobic, right?
Yeah, so the mold sets. It's really kind of scary. And then you do it, and then he goes, "Okay, this could be the monster mold." And I did the film. It's like some low budget independent.
Yeah.
It's nothing anyone's seen. What I didn't know is that the guy took the mold and sold it to somebody who turned me into a sex toy.
Are you kidding?
That is
There's a Brad Williams sex doll?
Yes. Well, not anymore because I sued them.
Were you flattered?
Unbelievable.
Were you slightly flattered?
Slightly flattered, but like, dude, it was freaky because someone gave me the website.
Did you get one at least before you sued him? Because you could literally go F yourself.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, yeah. My wife could have something to do while I was gone. But yeah, like I looked at this website. It was me. It was
God.
Me. And I just thought to myself, like, how weird is this going to be if someone on the street who bought this sees me walking the other way and just goes, "Whoa!" And it just like has this weird reaction. I'm like, "Why are you acting like that?" He's like, I usually put my penis somewhere on you. Like that's. Like, that's great.
Was it being marketed as Brad Williams? Or?
No,
I'm sure not. Yeah.
No, it was marketed as like a midget sex toy. Like, this is how you could bang a dwarf. And
What
I'm
a
just
world!
Like, yeah, and I'm just like, wow. So yeah, I had to get my legal team involved in that.
Brad, what were they going for? Do you know? I'm just curious.
It was like $125. It was like an expensive sex toy.
Wow.
I once was asked to play in a charity golf tournament, and I thought, absolutely great. I'll go play in the charity golf tournament, and I do. And they had these golf carts that had the names of all the celebrities on the golf carts. So I'm walking, and it's like it's Bill Engvall was in it, and like some guy from Greece, not John Travolta. So who the hell cares? And then I see my golf cart. It says Wee Man on the golf cart.
No way.
Yeah, it says Wee Man on the golf cart. And at first I was pissed. And then the group I was playing with start walking towards me going, oh, we're so glad we got Wee Man. All our friends got lame celebrities. We got Wee Man. I'm like, oh, God, now I got it.
Yep.
Now I can't be like, you actually did get a lame celebrity. So I faked it. I faked being Wee Man because I thought, these guys are giving a lot of money to charity.
Sure.
Let's make sure they have a good time. So like I faked it. I started saying I was Wee Man. Then we get to this hole that's sponsored by Hooters, because if you play in these charity golf tournaments, there's always the holes that are sponsored by different restaurants, corporations, whatever. So the hole is sponsored by Hooters. It's a bunch of girls. They're the Hooters girls. They have the wings and beer and stuff. And we walk up, and this Hooters waitress sees me and goes, "That's not Wee Man."
Wow.
And everyone, and I'm like, wait, what? No, I'm Wee Man. Like, yeah, because now this has gone down to like 12, 14 holes. Like, I can't just suddenly turn around. So I'm like, no, what are you talking about? I'm Wee Man. And she goes, no, that's not Wee Man. I had sex with Wee Man.
Oh, God.
You are not Wee Man. And I'm like, what? So I run up to her.
Oh, my God.
I grab her by the wrist, and I kind of explain to her the situation. And I'm like, hey, I know I'm not Wee Man. These guys are doing it for charity. Think I am. The freaking charity thought I was.
Yeah.
Like, so it's on them. This is not me trying to do this. Just play along. And I peeled her off like $40 because when you give $40 to a Hooters waitress, they'll do anything.
So did she immediately? Was she receptive to it? Or did you have to work her?
She immediately flipped around. I was like, oh, okay, totally get it. And then she's like, never mind. I was wrong. Wee Man. And I thought, kudos to her.
Yeah.
Because she's, first of all, she blatantly just yelled out in front of a group of strangers, I had sex with a midget. And then a few minutes later says that to the same strangers, I had sex with a midget and forgot which midget it was. So that's kudos to her.
Yeah, that's worth $40.
That's worth $40 just for that moment. But then,
oh my God,
here's the best part.
All right,
it's not done. Here's the best part. I like, so now the problem is solved, and now the guys are like all teeing off, and I go to the back and I kind of go to her and go, hey, so you had sex with a Wee Man? And she goes, yeah, I had sex with Wee Man. And she goes, here, he came in the restaurant. He chatted me up, and it was good. I recognized him, and then we had a little fun. And then she goes, here, I'll show you a picture. And she busts out the picture, and she shows me the picture, and I look at the picture, and I go, that's my dwarf friend, Sean.
Oh, no, yes! That's not Wee Man.
That's not Wee Man.
She did not have sex with Wee Man. She had sex with Sean.
I like Kevin Costner, so I'm sticking to. You know what he's doing? He does the voice of the dog in The Art of Racing in the Rain, that new movie coming out.
The Art of Racing in the Rain. What's that about?
So it's one of these endless series of stories like a dog's purpose of dogs. I'm a sucker for all of them, but this is another. You're hearing the dog's thoughts,
right?
And Milo Ventimiglia, and who is the girl from Mean Girls?
I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about.
I love her to death.
Amanda Seyfried.
Amanda Seyfried.
Yeah.
And so it's actually my wife's favorite book. But I kept seeing the commercial. I'm like, I know that voice. It's Kevin Costner.
Cool.
I would love to see what they're actually thinking.
Why don't you lick her butt? Go ahead.
Never mind.
No, you'd love to see what? It's about the dog thing?
Yeah.
All right, what?
Don't worry about it.
Okay.
It's the story of a dog and his thoughts.
Lick her butt. Go ahead, lick it. You'll love it.
I licked mine. I love that.
Hey, where do you want to go for dinner, buddy? Doesn't matter. I eat frozen turds. So when are you going to lick her ass?
Get off that!
Lick her butt already.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Hey, buddy.
All right.
I love you, man. I know you're getting up there in years. Yeah. Did you lick her butt yet? Because that's really a lot of what dogs think about.
That's what they do. They love it. Yeah.
Hey, I just ate some tampons.
Oh, my God. Dude, we eventually...
I know.
It's finally stopped in our house. We finally got a trash can with a little closing lid on the top of it.
Right. They're predators.
For the bathroom.
If they're going to rip a rabbit to pieces in your yard,
yeah, exactly.
A tampon's like a buffet.
Oh, my cats can get into those trash cans.
Oh, really?
I have to put the heavy tissue box holder on top of the trash can with the lid.
No kidding. Okay.
Pets are so fun and
Aren't
cute.
they? Aren't they adorable?
They're eating your tampons.
Yeah, they rip animals apart in the backyard.
Buddy, is your paw hurt? Yeah, it doesn't feel too good. Did you lick her butt yet?
I have a question for you, Steve.
Lay it on me.
Should I get into the Bachelorette stuff here in a little bit, or we can?
We did it as a separate segment.
We can parse it out here if you want. All right, so Jed popped the question.
All right.
We got the clip here.
Now this is the dummy who is a up and coming musician, and to this point, the only thing he's sold is a dog food jingle.
Hey, that's an accomplishment. That's
it's not even a good dog food jingle.
I would love to see throughout the series when he's talking to the camera and saying, I'm really just looking to find someone that I can fall in love with and all this. And at the end of this going, well, I really did this for my career because I figured it would boost my visibility a little bit.
Right.
That's really what I was doing.
But
so.
if you're trying to paint yourself as sort of an emotional, in-touch singer-songwriter, and this is the way you treat this girl, it's not going to really work for you.
Oh, we have his jingle.
Here you
Marissa
go.
just sent over his dog food jingle.
Here we go.
All right, here we go.
Rain or shine, kind of love like nothing you've seen before.
What? This is for dog food?
It's for dog food.
Okay.
And the dog is waiting.
The dog's what?
The dog's waiting for the master to come home.
Okay.
And it's a high-quality dog food.
Okay. Is the dog wearing something sexy?
Sexy, lingerie, yeah. And has a dildo in one paw.
Okay.
The dog really does deserve the best. So go pick him up some better balls.
And the thing, it's metaphor. Okay, so here's the deal. And
Thank you very much. Wait, Nick, did you want to do a shout out?
Oh,
did
crap.
you say that? Yeah.
You remembered something and I forgot it.
That's very rare.
I know, I'm impressed. But yes, I did. This is from my friend Eva and her friends because Eva Preston. She's the one that did the Hogwarts Cup for us when we did the Harry Potter trivia. She sent me this note, and they had her friends had a baby the other day. The baby's name is Atlas, which I think is really cool. And her friends are named Sam and Mike. And Atlas is an MMR baby. He was napping to Billy Idol the other day. He's been taking naps around 7:30 as we listen to Preston and Steve. And then before camp, he would listen to Pierre Robert daily, and Pierre's voice would make him fall back asleep for his morning nap. And he's currently passed out listening to the radio, and he's been listening to MMR all day, every day. So baby Atlas, and for Sam and Mike, this shout out is for you.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
Okay. And I do like that name.
It is a cool name. The middle name should be Shrugged.
Atlas Shrugged. Yes. All right. Well, listen, I would like to expand our minds because the Just Saying Institute has just released a flood of information.
The Just Saying Institute, now with a new satellite location in Frigantine.
Frigantine. All right, new research. Digital firm QR Code Generator looked at Google searches over the course of a month to find the top phobias of Americans.
Through QR codes?
QR Code Generator.
All right.
Looked at Google research. So it's a company, it's a group called QR Code Generator, and they looked at Google searches over the course of a month to find the top phobias.
What if you fear QR codes?
Of Americans, and you might be on this list. So no, they came up with the most common phobias in the United States, and some of them, obviously, you will know. There's some fairly basic ones, but there's a couple other that are kind of off the beaten path. I thought were worth expressing here. We'll start with trypophobia. And we talked about this before. It's the fear of small holes or bumps clustered together.
So I had no idea how many people that are kind of in my environment that have this kind of fear, that cannot look at things, particular fruits. There is a website called AI is Weird or something like that, and it is a bunch of undulating AI animations of like tiny holes opening up on skin and then folding over on top of each other. people can't. They go freak out.
Right.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Do you have any bit of that?
Oh yeah, for sure. I told you guys as a kid, I forgot what it's a. Sometimes you'll see it in flower arrangements.
Yes.
It's a brown thing that's got all these holes in it. That always reminds me of like a wasp's nest or something like that with
Right.
the little honeycomb.
It does have a hive
Yes.
kind of appearance to it.
Nick, what is that thing called?
I gotta find it.
Yeah,
Preston,
it's
like a pod.
Yeah, and that has always made me, I don't know, it made me uncomfortable.
A lotus water lily.
Okay,
And
yes.
it's their seed pods.
Yeah,
So
Kathy,
when
you see that?
Oh yeah, it's called there's another name for it.
Okay.
I have them in my winter planters.
Sometimes what they'll do, Preston, they'll take that image and they will put it on flesh.
Yes.
Or
I've
like
seen,
on a
I've seen
nipple.
it on like a nipple.
Yes.
Before, and,
And
you're
people
like, that's
pass
not
out.
real.
Yeah.
So I have a little bit of that.
All right.
It doesn't affect me horribly, but yeah, that kind of freaks me out a little bit. Then there's agoraphobia, which is a fear of leaving an environment known to be safe. And so there are some people who have an extreme version of that.
I felt so bad years ago. A girl I was dating, her mother had severe agoraphobia, and it was just the world was the house. That was it.
Yeah.
No, I mean, and try as she might, she could not break it and go outside and do all those other things.
Yeah, you get
so sad
severe
to watch.
anxiety.
Severe anxiety.
Yeah. These are the most common phobias in America. Misophonia, we've talked about this several times, a severe aversion to chewing, swallowing, and heavy breathing sounds.
So, Kathy, would that be Nick? Nick?
Yep. I definitely have it. It's everyone. It's
Everyone.
It's not just Nick. It's
All right.
it's any type of sound while eating.
And didn't Jace call you on making sounds, or was that?
Yeah. Are you kidding? He calls me out all the time. He's like, "Well, what are you doing with that chip?" And I'm like, "No, you do it like this, and I put it in my mouth and chew with my mouth." But he's like, "You didn't do that with the last chip."
Man, oh man, it's like, yeah, they're coming home to roost.
Kathy, you sent me that. It was a gif of like an orangutan or something the other day. Just going, so apparently sufferers describe those sounds as driving them crazy.
Yes,
even though
okay.
other people may not notice them. Then there's thalassophobia, which is a fear of large, deep bodies of water like oceans and lakes.
Oh, wow.
People with it aren't so much afraid of the water itself, but what's underneath the surface.
That sounds about right.
Now
That
that
sounds-
Shark Week is on, I think you have every reason to be worried. Yeah.
So does that fear manifest like when they're out in open water, or is it they could be sitting at home and watching it on TV or something? And
I'm curious. I know some people have had. I think all of us at some time. I don't care, and I'm pretty comfortable out in the water, even jumping off a boat. When you're there, and for that brief second, you feel something brush against your foot or whatever.
Oh, definitely. But also, Steve, when, swimming in a pool, yeah, no problem. If I were to jump into open ocean water off of a boat without any type of flotation device on, it would make me nervous.
Yeah.
Because something could happen, you get separated, and then the next thing you know, you are just royally screwed.
True. It's true.
I occasionally will get, I don't think I have an inherent fear of heights, but I'll occasionally get like a little bit of vertigo if I'm on a high building or like in a place where I'm looking out over, even a skyscraper where I'm inside or whatever. And it just, I feel dizziness and a little bit of like, I need to refocus and center myself. And I don't fear going up the elevator or anything like that. But
No,
I'll
it just
get that sensation.
It kicks in periodically. Is what you're saying. Yeah.
Well, that one is one on the list as well, Nick.
Okay.
It's called acrophobia.
Right.
A fear of heights can be incredibly disorienting and cause sufferers to panic, feel paralyzed, and shake as well. Have you ever gotten that bad?
Not that bad, no. But dizziness and a little bit of vertigo and sort of my vision of like where I'm looking, that gets skewed.
Will you find yourself shaking, then rattling, then rolling?
A little bit of rolling.
I would say I have this thing that kicks in sometimes, say if you're on the top of a Ferris wheel.
Okay.
Where I don't know if it's a fear of the height. It is. I wonder what would happen if I jumped. Like one of those bizarre mental things that kicks in.
Yeah, it's,
and I'm like, why am I even thinking that?
There's intrusive thoughts, and I have those as well.
Yeah.
I have those when I'm riding down, when I'm driving down like 2-lane highways, like 47, 347. Those are prime examples of what I'm talking about. Like I have a fear that I'm just going to for no reason just
veer into traffic.
Wow.
And so when I feel that coming along, I basically have to focus all of my attention on the right shoulder and basically not pay attention to any of the cars coming in the opposite direction.
That is in your head.
It's in my head that
yes,
I'm going to...
making you ponder that.
These are the top phobias in America. Here is another one.
What number are we at?
Emetophobia. They're not in a numerical order. Emetophobia, which is an extreme disgust and aversion to vomiting. It's not just a fear of throwing up. It's also anxiety about not being able to make it to the bathroom in time. A fear of not being able to stop vomiting or choking on vomit as well. So it goes a level on.
We were talking about the ball player, the pitcher who was puking on the pitcher's mound.
Right.
Yes.
He didn't have a fear. I've got a friend who passes out every single time right before she vomits. And I think it's because I think it's a fear. And
so she feigns to stop from vomiting? Or does she? Because you can
I think
vomit
she's
when
so
you're...
nervous that she is about to vomit that it causes her to pass out. I mean, she's passed out. She's broken her nose. Because
she's like a fainting goat.
Yeah, like she'll be over the toilet and then fall to the floor. Like
so it sounds like her own body is doing the fight or flight.
Yeah.
Right.
It's flight.
But
I'm
then
out of here.
But then she wakes up and throws up immediately.
People have thrown up while they're under, or like and then a lot of times somebody can die from choking on vomitus because of that. So I don't want to do that.
Claustrophobia is one of the most common ones as well.
Any bit of that with you?
Not really.
Yeah.
I'm pretty good in small spaces. Like, the idea of going to get an MRI. I'm just going to lay here for a while. This is a good time to just chill.
Where it
doesn't bother me at all.
Kick in is like cavers or spelunkers or anything like
squeezing
where
through
you're
something.
Squeezing through something.
That'd be tough.
No, I can be in it. The classic claustrophobic things were the things you just described, and I'm fine with those.
I would think that I'm not. I would categorize myself as not being claustrophobic, but then the second you said MRI, that was the first time I was like, "Get me out." Get me out. Like she was like,
get me out!
Yeah. She's like, hit the button if you feel a little. And I hit the button. I came out and she walks in. It was like 2 seconds after I went in. She goes, what's the problem? I go, I opened my eyes. She goes, I told you not to open your eyes. I go, I know, but I opened my eyes. She goes, okay, well, we're going to put you back in. Don't open your eyes this time.
Well, you're going to be a handful, aren't you?
Do they ever offer, blackout shades or anything like that? They probably should for MRIs,
So that you can do like a little mask or something?
Yeah, completely.
That's where you don't
cut yourself off.
Yeah,
I was fine when I kept my eyes shut, but the second I opened them and I saw that tube right above me, get me the hell out.
I had the what was it, the heart score test where they put you through the you're in the device and they're I don't. The worst one was I had this basically it looked like the coil you'd use in an illegal still that was rammed up my butt and put through this scanning device. It was when I had the prostate cancer. And man, oh man, and that was in tight. But I just kept my eyes closed. I was fine.
I'll tell you what gave me anxiety was the movie about the divers that went to go get that soccer team. I think, was it in the Philippines?
Oh, yes. Yeah.
And to get them out and how they had to like almost sedate them and take them through those little tiny crevices underwater.
That was in Chile, right?
Was it Chile? Okay.
No, it was the miners that got stuck in Chile, though. It was in Asia where with the soccer team. All right, so here's one, and bear with me on the pronunciation with this. And this is a legit fear. It's called sequipedalophobia.
Is this? I'm trying to decipher by what the words. Is this fear of horses?
No, I'll try to hippopotamonstro sesquipedalophobia.
Wow.
This impossible to pronounce phobia is actually an ironic fear of long words.
Wow.
People who have it are often afraid to read long words aloud, especially at school.
Well, I think most people want to be able to pronounce a word, and I think that's a legitimate. Mm-hmm. No one, actively wants to try to pronounce super long words in front of an audience like you do every day.
Yes. All right, here's another one, arachnophobia.
Yes,
spiders.
Yeah.
I definitely don't like spiders. I'm not like terrified by them, but they freak me out a little bit.
Because you have a tarantula on your shoulder.
Right. Yeah. And then the last one on this list is thanatophobia. It is an intense fear of death and dying, and it may lead to feelings of distress when thinking about their death or that of a loved one as well. So that freaks me out too.
The fear of death?
Yeah. Yep. Yep.
How pronounced is your fear of death?
I went to therapy for it.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I've managed to realize that, Steve, if I ball it up really tight,
push it down,
and shove it deep down inside of myself,
Yeah.
and never ever think of it, that does the trick.
That's a great treatment.
That's a really good therapist right
That's
there.
the one Jeffrey Dahmer used.
I honestly, if I do have the intrusive thoughts of something like that, then I will. My mechanism is to think about the last round of golf I played.
Really?
Yes.
Because it was so bad you wanted to die?
Unless it was a really bad round of golf. No, that's why I think about golf a lot.
Oh, it's your sin.
Because you're always thinking about dying?
I had a problem with it, yeah. At night when going to sleep, absolutely.
Because sleep is little tastes of
It's a little death.
Yeah.
Oh, then if it is, then I'm going to love death because I love getting a good night's sleep.
I want my death number bed.
What's your death number?
It's 0.
Yeah. So those are the phobias that we as Americans have the most in common, apparently.
Yeah.
So.
Yay.
All right. Other Just Saying Institute stats, studies, and so on. I thought this was kind of interesting. This is a technique in the world of medicine. A Texas hospital could be the first in the United States to use a technology that allows doctors to visit patients via hologram. Crescent Regional Hospital, located in Lancaster, about 13 miles south of Dallas.
So I'm so annoying.
Has installed.
You're delightful.
They have installed Holobox.
I think that would wake someone up, right?
Yes, it would.
Yeah.
Holobox, a 3D system that projects a life-size hologram of a doctor's.
All right, now you're annoying.
I've seen this thing, and it is pretty amazing.
It is.
So they did a demonstration. I forget who the comedian was who was participating in it. But, Kathy, it is basically almost like a life-size doll box where the person is rendered looking completely real in this contraption. And, it's a live broadcast. You're basically you in your entirety broadcast, correct?
Yes. And so this is so they can perform real-time consults with patients at a clinic, which is where they are set up 30 miles away. Designed
Can't drive 30 miles?
Not with the amount of time that it takes to go back and forth. That's what they were saying. That what this is going to be able to solve is the one thing that doctors don't have a lot of, and that is time, and therefore they can get to more patients that way.
Save the money on the Holobox and buy him some Lambos.
Designed by Dutch company HoloConnect. The display is 86 inches tall and only requires electricity and internet to connect.
It's pretty amazing.
The box has anti-glare glass and a transparent LCD screen for a life-size and realistic holographic display, as well as hi-fi speakers and multi-touch operating system. The hologram features the image of people either in a pre-recorded video or live real-time video. Steve Sterling, the managing director
Sounds like one of the agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
of HoloConnects for North America, said the company developed the doctor-patient hologram engagement system so medical facilities and healthcare professionals can engage with patients remotely. And he believes that Crescent Regional is the first hospital in the U.S. with a technology like Holobox. Kumar said the technology helps reduce doctors' travel time between Crescent Regional and the hospital's clinic, which is about 30 miles away, like I said.
Did you ever do, any of you do telemedicine?
Very much so. Yes, I've done it a couple times. In fact, I have an appointment coming up in, I think it's the end of the summer, for an initial consult with a doctor just to get...
Telemarket.
Not telemarket.
Telemarket, they try to sell you aluminum siding.
No, it's a doctor.
Telemedicine.
And telemedicine.
Okay.
And so, yeah, I have one coming up. And I've done it a few times. It's fine just to kind of get the ball rolling. Because a lot of times that initial first meeting with certain doctors can be something you can knock out without having to drive there and park. And they,
It is, I think, a cool aspect of it. It's at that time in the process when you let them know you ain't no hollaback girl.
Yeah, no.
Do you know that you have to be...
Almost.
You have... I'll skip it. Nick,
Right.
I'll tell you later.
No, go ahead, please.
You have to be in the state as the doctor. So, like, if the doctor is not...
okay.
You can't...
So I had to fly to a different state to do a telemedicine visit with a doctor.
Wow.
I know.
Okay.
And
How recently, if I may ask?
Oh, it was a couple years ago.
Okay.
I think it was like, maybe it was COVID time. Yeah. Well, yeah, because that's
probably.
when all the televisits started. So it was around COVID time.
That's interesting. So you technically have to be just in the same state.
At least for the doctor I was seeing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think
I believe it.
the rules of medicine are right. That's a big issue about medicine across
Yeah, like I think they
lines.
can practice in, right?
Right.
In their state.
Right.
So doctors, can now speak to patients via hologram instead of driving between the hospital and clinic for pre-op, post-op, or follow-up appointments. So it's not an exam or anything like that. These are the other.
These are things that can be taken care of in a way that doesn't involve a lot of travel.
Yeah. All right, so maybe that'll expand and it'll hit other facilities down the road. All right, here is another one from Just Saying Institute. If you have trouble recognizing people by their faces, you're not alone. A recent study published in the journal Cortex reveals that prosopagnosia,
delicious,
commonly known as face blindness, may be more prevalent than previously believed. This neurological disorder, which affects the ability to recognize and remember faces, is estimated to affect 1 to 5% of adults. A new article in National Geographic explores the spectrum of face blindness, its potential causes, and its impact on daily life. In fact, several famous people like Jane Goodall, Brad Pitt, and the late Oliver Sacks have prosopagnosia.
I knew Brad Pitt had it.
Yes,
Yep.
there was a big thing about him having this.
Yeah, face blindness exists on...
In fact, he inadvertently beat the wrong child.
Oh.
Dude.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. That was meant for your brother.
Face blindness exists on a spectrum. Some people may have a little difficulty recognizing faces, while others struggle a lot.
This is an interesting thing, this whole this inability. I am very good with faces and horrible with names. So I don't know, if this is even remotely tangential to that. But I just wanted to brag.
I can be poor at even recognizing faces. You guys know that sometimes a lot of times I don't remember people. But sometimes I don't. Even seeing them, they're like, I saw you. I'm your neighbor.
Do you know?
A guy told me that not that long ago.
Yeah.
I ran into him at a bar. I'm like, and I saw a guy that I knew, blah blah blah, and they said, "This is Joe," and I was like, "Hey Joe, how you doing, man?" I'm Preston. He goes, "Yeah." He goes, "I live down the street from you."
Was Trevor the name? What was the name of the golf that you had?
Travis.
Travis. Yeah.
Yes.
Travis.
But I will forever know that his real name is Spring Break Jake.
There you go.
All you got to do is add a little snappy name to it, and I'll figure it out.
But listen, unless you live right next door or right across the street, don't say I'm your neighbor, I live in your neighborhood.
Yeah. So research has found that up to half of people with autism have trouble recognizing faces.
Interesting.
However, at Nat Geo, they point out it may be at least partly because those with autism often avoid making eye contact with people. People with face blindness tend to focus on different parts of the face, such as the mouth area. You got a pretty mouth. Compared to those without the condition or super
farted in my face.
Or super recognizers who excel at recognizing faces and focus more on the nose and the central area of the face, which is connected to better face recognition.
I wish I lacked the ability to recognize my face.
Casey, you're really good at recognizing people and remembering people.
Yes and no. I don't really get to pick or choose why or who I remember. You know what I mean? Like I can, hang out with somebody here in the studio and then introduce myself to them later on in the evening. And be like, I was just in your studio.
Right.
Or I can meet somebody for about 30 seconds and then see them 2 years later and be like, oh, I remember you. You did this. You know what I mean? Like, and remember all sorts of insignificant.
It's what you attach to that encounter.
By the way, real quick, doubling back to the last story, somebody texts and says, I am a healthcare compliance officer. Kathy is correct. Providers can only practice medicine in states where they are licensed. The physical location of the patient at the time of the visit is where the visit is taking place. There is a waiver in place from COVID that expires at the end of this year. That makes sense, yes, because they're licensed by the state. So
sorry, Tennessee.
That makes total sense. So, all right. So anyhow, back to this. Apparently, some individuals with long COVID have experienced difficulties recognizing faces, suggesting a potential connection between the virus and the neurological condition. Some people with prosopagnosia experienced temporary improvements in face processing and facial recognition abilities after using a single dose of oxytocin nasal spray.
That's all it takes?
Maybe, yeah. Is that all it is?
One drop?
Use some Afrin and you're good to go?
Who never gets forgotten facially? Scabignos.
Scabignos. Wow. So there's more credence to this being a legit syndrome, I guess.
think that would be something very difficult to deal with where you fail to recognize. I wonder, like with Brad Pitt again, and I was joking, but could it extend to family members that you're forgetting?
I feel like it's new faces.
New faces?
Maybe.
Or newer faces.
Yeah. All right. Let's see what else we got here. Thank you.
We need the music because that's how you know you're learning.
All right. So lice.
Love them.
Head lice.
Oh, don't.
One pediatrician says that she's seen an uptick in older kids with infestation compared with 5 years ago, and she attributes it to what she calls social media lice.
So what's going on here?
Wisconsin physician Sharon Rank says teenagers...
They're upset. Boys, calm down.
She said teenagers don't usually get lice because they're not sharing hats and things like that, and lice can't jump. So the only way they can transmit lice is touching their heads together, and that's happening with all these photos, selfies.
Okay. The saying is lice is nice, but chiggers are quicker.
Okay. In Rink's professional opinion, the frequency of Gru's self-snaps plays a factor. She said people are doing selfies like every day as opposed to going to photo booths years and years ago. So you're probably having much more contact with other people's heads. But lice expert Katie Shepard, founder and CEO of the Shepard Institute for Lice Solutions.
That's a highly specified field.
Counters that the increase in teen infestations is actually due more to slack prevention in schools and failure of treatment products than selfies.
Did you ever have a lice outbreak in school?
Yes. Yes, when I was a kid, a couple of times.
Yeah, elementary school.
And the nurse would actually check your head and everything, and I'd go home. My mom would check and all that.
Yep.
Well, you guys know that my family had it a few years ago.
Yes, that's right.
Right as our vacation was starting.
Oh, yay.
Yeah, it's horrible. But she said more and more schools are less proactive about the problem, and more of the treatment products out there just aren't working. She said selfies aren't responsible because teens' heads aren't close together long enough for bugs to cross over. And the Center for Disease Control and Prevention estimates it affects about 6 to 12 million children, 3 to 11 years of age in the U.S. each year. And she said kids are hanging out together in close contact all the time anyway, whether they're taking pictures or not. Lice can move 9 inches in a minute's time. And she said they don't jump or fly, but they can make the transition from person to person quickly, crawling one by one or in harems, she said.
Harems?
Yes. I guess that's what you call a group of lice.
Horny little devils?
I do not know. But she said they're transmitted via head-to-head contact. Kids curl up on couches together. They sit head-to-head looking at videos on someone's phone. That's a lot more contact than you get taking a selfie. There's a greater chance at kids' hair overlapping and bugs skittering between them when teens are sitting smushed closely in a car or side by side at the movies.
That's freaky.
Yep.
We learned last week that, was it leeches can jump?
Yes.
Oh.
Yes. We
We're
had
learning
that.
about the lice.
So for that reason, the most effective way to avoid getting lice is for teens to keep their hair pulled back if they're going to be in close proximity to others.
Or wear a diving helmet.
And if they go to a sleepover, girls should wear their hair in a bun and sleep on their own pillow. And if you know that your friend has had lice, you got to get your head properly checked.
What about crabs?
Crabs, same thing.
Yeah.
You definitely got to get properly checked. Those things are suck. I mean, it's the same thing as lice.
It is basically the same
It's just
thing.
pubic
Just with
lice
a nautical flavor.
is what it is. So, all right, let's see what else we have here. I thought this was kind of interesting. Scientists in the Netherlands have discovered a new organ in the human throat.
How about that?
I got an organ for you.
Yeah, right. It wasn't there 5 minutes ago.
No, the researchers were testing a new cancer scan when they accidentally uncovered a set of glands deep in the upper part of the throat.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
A couple of those glands are mine. You know what I'm saying?
But they are dubbing them the tubarial salivary glands.
The tubarial salivary glands.
Yeah, the team believes the organ helps keep an area behind the nose well lubricated.
Yeah, because you need that.
Yeah.
Actually, I do. The Neumann, the nasal rinse, is part and parcel of that, keeping that whole area moist.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe that is the reason why I have not had a cold in many years.
Huh.
I'm sopping wet in my nose.
I got to go see. I just made an appointment to go see Dr. Mike tomorrow because I have, what WebMD or Google has told me is I have dysphagia right now.
Dysphagia, which is?
I have this sensation, and I'm pointing right here, so our listening or viewing audience, right here in my throat, that there's food stuck there. And it's been there for like a week.
All right,
and I'm trying all sorts of stuff to get it up. And
bro, I'm your bodhisattva on this.
Yeah.
I had achalasia, which was that sensation that there is always something in your throat.
Mm-hmm. It's there, it's moving. I can kind of like jostle it around, but I just can't.
I hear you.
You've had this before.
I have?
Yeah, I remember you telling me about that. When you swallowed a pill, it felt like it was.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's just because sometimes those like the fiber pills that I take and some of those like caplets,
they stick.
I always
stick.
get. I always get that too.
Yeah.
Let me ask you: is this occurring mostly around like pollen season and hay fever season?
I don't know. It's been constant for the last week.
How are your BMs?
They're not bad.
Okay.
I had Monster cookie ice cream the other day, and it was blue, and so I pooped green the next day. It was kind of cool.
That's nice.
Since you asked.
I've had like some kind of post-nasal drip thing for like the past 3 years.
Really?
And it just won't go away.
We were both supposed. When I had my procedure, you were going to get yours, and they effed you up with the insurance.
Yeah, and then I had a consult to maybe go back to the doctor and consider it again, but I wimped out. I bailed on it. It hasn't been giving me too much trouble, or at least my headaches haven't been that bad.
Does it make you nauseous by any chance?
No.
Oh.
How are your BMs?
Well, because that post-nasal drip, it drips into your stomach, and it can cause awful nausea.
Yeah, not me.
You give birth to a snot baby.
So anyhow, back to this, the salivary glands, the tubarial salivary glands. Avoiding these glands in patients receiving radiation treatment may provide an opportunity to improve their quality of life, according to the report. Scientists were testing a new scan which looks for prostate cancer.
In your mouth?
Using a combination of...
I found nothing.
Computed tomography scans, or CAT scans, and positron emission...
positron emission.
Tomography. What is positraction?
Are you sure?
To do so, doctors inject a radioactive tracer into a patient and trace its path. The procedure is excellent for detecting metastasized prostate tumors, but it also happens to be good at detecting salivary gland tissue, which is weird because your mouth is not anywhere near your own ass.
Wouldn't happen if you didn't do the ass to mouth.
When they injected the tracer into a patient, two unexpected areas lit up way in the back of the nasopharynx, the area behind the nose. The glands, which are about 1.5 inches long, look similar to major salivary glands already known to the human body, in the human body, according to radiation oncologist Walter Vogel.
I think I found something.
People have 3 sets of large salivary glands, but not there, he said.
We're going out to a California Pizza Kitchen. Will you want to come? Stay here.
So the glands were visible in all 100 patients whose scans they studied. Radiation therapy can damage the salivary glands, which may lead to complications. Patients may have trouble eating, swallowing, or speaking, which can be a real burden. Vogel says radiation would cause the same side effects in the tubarial salivary gland. So now that they know this, they can avoid that.
It's interesting.
Problems.
My wife had basically, you have kidney stones, but she had basically the equivalent in her salivary gland, one of them, and it was very painful. And it took about 2 days. She was in the hospital for 2 days. Mind you, I had cancer surgery. I was in just overnight.
So I had a friend of mine who that happened to.
Yeah.
And oddly enough, one of the things to fix it was to eat like a sour candy or something like that.
To cause the
like
salivary glands to kick in?
Something like that.
Yeah.
That helped.
To pass it?
Yeah, flush it out of there. But
Yeah.
That was part.
She was hurting.
So it was extremely painful.
Yes.
I wonder if that has anything to do with what Casey's dealing with the stuff in the back of his throat. Like, do you think maybe it's tonsil stones or something along those lines?
I have no idea.
Okay. Steve, do Casey's symptoms sound similar to what Claire was going through?
He do raise some questions here.
There's no pain.
How were Claire's BMs?
Very good.
Okay.
Very good.
So we're on track.
I would say they taste the same.
Were any of them green like Casey's?
No, but he
Okay.
didn't have the ice cream that you had. I'd say this case, it's a possibility. Obviously, Mike will get you hooked up.
Yeah.
But she had really bad pain.
And Steve can do a tracheotomy.
Oh, I'm really good at that.
All right,
yeah.
can we hold off on that? Let me see Mike first.
Hang
and
on.
Then we'll, okay.
What? Steve, somebody texted and said they may have you do Casey do a swallow study. If you do,
Yeah.
see if that doctor was as big a dick as he was to me and Steve.
Yes.
Really?
Yep.
Oh yeah,
That pen. Guy's just a
scumbag
jerk.
And that whole system, which is populated with wonderful people who are very caring, they have one butt nub.
I mean, go to someone else.
No. I'm going to go to this guy just so I can tell him how I feel about him.
I think this is like the only dude that does them, Kathy.
Yeah.
It's like a very specialized field of swallow studies.
Dr. Buttnub.
Yeah. Butner, do you know Dr. Buttnub?
Dr. Buttnub, Dr. Buttnub.
I thought about seeing if I could reach my finger down into there, and
we'll do that now.
Yeah, give it a shot.
All right.
Go for it.
You haven't been licking prostates, have you?
Trash cans coming up.
No, you know what, though? Hang on. I feel like I should.
Remember that calendar girl that we had that has no
who was
gag
that?
reflex at all? Like she could
Brittany
swallow.
didn't.
She could swallow. Yeah, but this gal could swallow her own tongue.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw her do it. It was bizarre.
That sounds scary.
All right, you going to try?
I am. But if I throw up.
Jumping the gun on Dr. Buttnub?
All right. All right. So it's like, dude, there's no way I'm going to get down.
No. Do you need something longer?
Start.
I don't think this is a good idea.
Case, I've seen this. Spit on your finger first.
Yeah.
Hatua.
Dude, I'm so over the Hatua chick.
It's over. Yeah.
What is happening?
All right, Casey's
He is trying to-
He's 5 knuckles deep now. Oh, no dice.
No.
I wouldn't recommend that.
No.
Yeah, I wouldn't either.
I'm not a doctor, but I wouldn't recommend it.
Do we have one of those dildos?
Did you find something else in there?
Yeah, or something.
My keys. My high school ring.
All right. What are you intrigued? I can see that look on your face. What's up?
I think it's just a tumor or something.
I think it's a tumor or something?
Yeah.
It's a frosted mini wheat.
Sure.
You can feel something back there?
By the way,
Oh my God. Dr. Mike, will you please call in? Where is he?
Now it's over.
and don't WebMD yourself to death and into a panic. I know so many people that do that.
Oh, God. I went in one time to a
Yeah.
doctor and said what I found. And she was like, okay, well, if you had that, you wouldn't have walked into my office. So you
you're
don't have
stupid
that.
and shut up.
Yeah, pretty much.
What happened to your forehead?
Hey, what?
I'm not here for that. Oh, I would have put money on it.
All right, let me do one more story from the Just Saying Institute.
I'm going to throw up.
All right. Let's see. How about
Institute of the Walking Dead over here.
How about this? An extra hour of sleep can boost a woman's libido by 14%.
How far can it be? Like 14%.
Our
1 hour.
It says our libido is constantly fluctuating, and a lot of factors can affect that. If you're stressed, anxious, or depressed, your desire may tank, just like when your relationship hits a rough patch. But it turns out there's one easy thing that you can do to help boost your sex drive. According to a study, an hour of extra sleep can increase a woman's libido by 14%, and every good hour of sleep can boost it by the same percentage each time. Yeah. So an extra hour of sleep.
1 hour. So
You're
if you
14%
keep
more
adding
horny.
hours on, can you reach maximum horniness?
I guess so. Yeah.
You guys, obviously, we're up early, but on the weekends or vacation, are you guys morning people?
My internal clock kicks in and will wake me up around 3:30, 3:45. I go back to sleep, and then I'm up about 6:37.
That's not what I'm asking. I'm talking about
Waking up for the
relations
day.
As far as having relations with your significant
having
other.
sex in the morning? No,
Yeah.
not a morning sex person.
Yeah.
I was maybe back in the day, but I preferred not morning sex. What about you?
No, I can't do anything in the morning.
My hands too cold.
Yeah. No, like first of all, I have to take a massive whiz, first thing in the morning. So that and
Can
then
you incorporate that?
I can't. I mean, people do. I wouldn't. That's not my thing.
We had an engineer that did.
Yeah. And then, you know, you got to like brush your teeth, like, you know, morning breath.
Wait, what? I missed it.
Oh, don't worry about it.
there was-
come on.
Let's just say,
I'll text you later.
let's just say, yes.
Get a
I know
license
exactly
plate.
what he's talking about.
He probably hasn't been here in years, right?
That's
no,
true.
it's not.
So
no.
what the hell's? So just tell me.
No.
The engineer that did it. That was into that.
There was somebody that worked here that had a license plate that was a reference to using urine during
Pee-pee.
sex.
Yeah.
Was it the person that you didn't really love?
Yeah.
Oh, all right, okay.
That dude.
I know
yeah.
who it is.
All right. So anyway,
And Casey's into that is what we were saying.
Oh, that's
right,
right.
right.
Yeah,
Not
Casey.
anymore. No, I used to be.
However, attempting to go through with sexual relations when you do have to go to the bathroom, it's
not fun.
It is not fun. It can be done sometimes, but then there are times where it's like, man, I can't. I know what you mean.
Besides, your plumbing is set up to stop it is like a train on a track.
Yeah.
The switching track has already gone into pee-pee mode. If you know what I'm saying.
I know what you mean.
You know what I'm saying. Yeah.
Get too clinical here.
Figured it out.
All aboard the pee-pee Express.
Out of the 170 women in the study, the women who enjoyed a longer average sleep time reported feeling more arousal and sexual desire than the women who slept less on average.
So these are the women that wake up with morning wood.
There you go. According to clinical psychologist and sex and relationship coach Ness Cooper, that's my name. When we don't get good enough rest, this can affect our libido and our ability to enjoy sex. Some people even report difficulty reaching orgasm when they haven't had good sleep. So if you want to improve your sex life, sleeping a little bit more is apparently worth a try. So, do you remember our sexologist we used to have on?
Yes.
Every now and then?
Dr. Jill?
Yeah.
Yeah, she moved to San Diego. She took a little bit of a hiatus. She actually was, I spoke with her over Instagram not that long ago. She had a shop
down in Westchester,
right? Yeah, she did. And she moved to San Diego a few years ago, and she dealt with a lot of burnout. She was really stressed, and she needed to take some time, and she has.
I bet you the pandemic wreaked havoc with her practice as well.
It was a lot of things, but she's back at it, and she's doing sex therapy again. So yeah, Dr. Jill McDevitt is her last name.
You're in San Diego? Stop by.
Yeah, or look her up on Instagram. She's a really terrific resource.
Nice. All right, well, that's it for the Just Saying Institute this morning. We do appreciate you coming by, and we are home to the new, what was it?
Satellite location in Frigantine.
In Frigantine, yes. All right, in fact, we have it up on the map now showing the Frigantine campus, if you want to see on one of our social media
That's where
pages.
it is.
All right, we will take a break. There's Bizarre File stories aplenty. We'll have them for you when we get back, so stay with us.
We're doing the commercial is real because this is the food that he's been eating at home himself because the career's not going well. Man, I love this stuff. You put it on some bread, it's delicious.
And then the last birthday today, our favorite butthole, Hope Solo.
Hope Solo's butthole.
Hope Solo, the goaltender for the women's U.S. soccer team. And then we found out there was a Twitter account called Hope Solo's Butthole because she had posted naked pictures of herself, and apparently you could see that particular part of her body, and somebody took upon that name, and we just thought it was funny.
Our favorite Twitter account. That and Bill Weston's hair.
Do you remember she had, there was some controversy of her being abusive, I think it was?
Yes, to an ex-boyfriend.
Yeah.
A family member too, right?
Yeah, something along
She
those
beat
lines.
the hell out of like a niece or nephew or something.
I've forgotten, but
Yeah, she was arrested in 2014, charged with 2 misdemeanor counts of assault and in the 4th degree.
Lest I remind you that her butthole has never been arrested.
Not once.
Yeah.
How old is she?
I'm just saying.
I'm sorry, ma'am. We're going to have to arrest your butthole.
Why?
How do you cuff them?
Wait a second. I'm just collateral damage. I didn't do anything.
We're taking this butthole downtown.
Why does anybody talk to me about it?
This is not right. Get my lawyer. What, do you just expect me to pucker up and go along?
Right,
Sorry,
Gabby?
Mr. Butthole.
Oh, yeah.
Mister.
Yeah. Happy birthday, Hope Solo and her butthole.
You guys are just being wacky.
They both turned 38 today.
They're both 38.
Here's
one of the co-creators of the band Mr. Big. He is one of the biggest, most badass guitarists in the world, in my humble opinion. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the program, Mr. Paul Gilbert. I want to explain to some people who may not know the name Paul Gilbert. You have a lot of fans. Most guitarists would know who you are.
Everybody who knows me knows me.
Yeah, exactly, right?
100% of those.
But I've only had one. I was only famous for 2 weeks in 1992. So, that's
So Paul, when I do meet people and we're talking music and I'll say, one of my favorite guitarists knows this guy Paul Gilbert. If they're a guitarist, they'll know exactly who I'm talking about. Some people don't, and I have to explain. Okay, so, he was in this band, Mr. Big. Before that, there was this band called Racer X. You may or may not know. Metal, real intense, shredding, crazy, really technical, awesome music. But then I try to explain your solo career as well.
Good luck.
It's hard to quantify it, because there's elements of blues and jazz and metal and all this stuff. What's a good way to describe your music?
Well, it's still evolving, and the discovery I made was that I really always wanted to be not a guitar player, but a lead singer. Because when I was a kid, those were the records I had. My parents had the Beatles records and Stones and bands that had lead vocalists. And I liked Led Zeppelin because Robert Plant had a great voice. Now, I didn't have a particularly great voice, and that didn't stop me from trying.
Right.
But it also didn't stop me from kind of not doing as well as I would have liked to as a lead singer. So the discovery that I made on this new album, Behold Electric Guitar, is that I can actually play the vocal line on the guitar. So, take it like a really challenging vocal, like, the "Hey, Mama said the way you move," which, with my little falsetto is not so great.
Right.
But, you play it on guitar. And suddenly, those notes are there. And it's just, it's my responsibility to get them right, but at least I can hit them.
Well, I was mentioning to you the song Let That Battery Die, which is on the new album, and that is exactly what I thought. I'm like, it sounds like someone singing.
Yeah, well, that's how I wrote the tunes, was that I would have a lyric, and, the initial lyrics for that were like, what was it? My battery is low, but my mind is high. And again, I'm squeaking it out.
Yeah.
But with the guitar, I can get a lot of control and a nice tone. And so for the first time in my life, I'm actually able to connect my inner melodic generator with an instrument that functions.
Can you give us a little of the Rocky you were playing before, the Rocky theme?
Oh, yeah.
There you go.
YouTube thing you mentioned is amazing. I grew up with albums, so I never expected to communicate with the world that way. And I do have to mention one. If you're in YouTube, there's one where I was doing a clinic and I had this little loop pedal, and I decided to put like the most scary, frightening shred lick that I could ever do inside the loop pedal. So I just pressed the button and it goes. Yeah. And I would pretend to play with my teeth, and then I would press that button, and the whole audience was like, "Oh my God!" and so of course he's
playing with his teeth.
Yeah, he was playing sweep picking with his teeth. How did he do that? And it was a guitar clinic, so everybody raised their hands and goes like, "How did you do that with your teeth?" And I said, "Well, it's pretty impressive to do sweep picking with your teeth, but I said it's really impressive to do it with your ass."
Oh, yes.
And then I just wiped the guitar,
That's great.
on my backside.
Yeah.
And I'm still a fan of the Beatles and Led Zeppelin and Aerosmith and the regular rock bands. And so now I can step on stage and really be the lead singer via my guitar.
Hey, I had a story that keys off of teachers, and I thought this was kind of interesting. This is out of, where is this? Somewhere in the South. I think it's in the...
Is it Florida?
No, it's North Carolina. The teacher at Northeast Carolina Preparatory School in Tarboro, North Carolina, had apparently punished one of their students. By punish, I mean making them write a phrase over and over and over and over again.
A la Bart Simpson.
Because he called her ma'am.
Ma'am?
Yes, ma'am, and she didn't like it, and so he had to write the word ma'am numerous times. His teacher asked him to write it. He told his mother that he had to return this with the parent's signature after he repeatedly called her the word despite being told not to do so.
Okay, well, if she told him not to, then...
Yeah, he completed his assignment during class hours, which made his mom worry that maybe it had interfered with some of school, the schoolwork.
Yes.
According to the mom, Mrs. Wilson, the teacher also told the young boy that if she had something... she would have thrown it at him. I'm sorry, said to the boy. So if she would have had something, she would have thrown it at him. After the mom signed the paper, she had also had the boy write down the definition of ma'am, which is a term of respectful or polite address used for a woman, according to Oxford dictionaries. There's some people that hate being called ma'am, and
I hate it.
My wife uses ma'am as a sign of respect when she's on the phone with someone asking for help.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Thank you, ma'am.
It is, and especially as you start to go south, you're going to find it is a term. It is a respectful way to refer to people.
Yeah.
I would it's a weird thing, and I know, Preston, you're right. For ma'am to set someone off?
Yeah, I don't know.
I've always known it as a respectful way to refer to someone.
Maybe she's younger and she doesn't want to feel old.
Yeah, that's how I see it. I see it as an older woman. So when somebody, I remember the first time he was a kid, probably a high school kid, called me ma'am, and I was like, oh my God. I mean, I didn't tell him, don't call me that, but it made me feel old.
It's not.
Did he just say ma'am?
Yeah. Pretty much.
Well, I never.
Was it the word that set the teacher off, or was it the fact that the kid was repeating it over and over?
I don't know.
Well, it had to be the initial thing graded on her because she asked him to stop saying it.
Yeah.
But if he's used to saying it as a sign of respect to, like somebody in an authoritative manner, then you just got to get that flag out of your butt and get over it, right, Press?
I would think so. Yeah, get the flag out of your butt.
Yeah.
Did I say that one day?
Yeah.
Okay.
I was hiking around the area, maybe on Friday, said hello to this young feller, probably 13 or 14. How are you? How's it going? Very well, sir. I'm like, yeah!
It's a title. It's a title.
We're not this kid walking along... that you come with me. I want to show other people what you just did because it was so good.
It's a title you've earned.
I earned it.
Hey, here's a text that says, women should know better than to call other women ma'am. I joke that they're traitors. And then she writes, it's well known that most women don't like it. What do you mean? How do you know that?
Because that extensive survey she took.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe amongst a handful of your friends or something. But what do you mean most women?
Yeah, but I would agree with that.
But how do you know most women?
Because anybody, just anyone that I know, it's not like I took a survey, but anyone I know would agree.
Then it's got to be everyone.
Yeah, and you know what? Here's the thing, too. I think it's, but I do, like you said, it's regional. Do you know what I mean?
I could see that.
In the South, yes, they do that. They're here, not as much.
But I've born and bred at, Northeast, and ma'am to me was always a sign of respect. And I would say ma'am.
Or maybe is it an older thing? Like it,
I don't know.
I don't know.
You keep going back to old.
No, the standard thing would be pretty good, ma'am. Wouldst thou takest me?
But here's the deal. I think it's all about intent. And if you hear someone saying it clearly as a sign of respect, you should understand that they're just being polite.
Yes, of course. I'm not going to get mad at them, but it doesn't make me like it. It's still,
right.
I still think it's.
I don't like it.
Yeah, no, I don't.
One gosh darn bit. Looking at my activities list.
Oh, God.
No, I listen, and if it rings to your ear and you don't like it, you can simply say, oh, it's okay. You don't have to call me ma'am or I'll punch you in the throat.
Yeah.
I would never read it as an insulting thing. That's a way to show respect.
It's your own fault for being old. Jesus Christ.
What's with you and that aging thing?
It's not insulting. It's just
we just don't like it.
And that's fine.
But all right,
I
your
don't,
personal
I don't think
preference.
somebody saying it to me is insulting me.
all right. But what
But
do
I
you
just
want
don't
your
like
server?
it.
What do you want your waiter or waitress to call you when they go up
Sugar
to your table?
teas.
Yeah.
Young lady, maybe?
Lady.
Oh my God, she has to see my ID.
Now we're living in a
Now you're getting into pandering territory.
I haven't been underage for 38 years.
Wait, let me tell you something that happened on Saturday. I have to tell you this. So I went out for Preston. I went out for my birthday, and we went into the bar, and they were carding everyone as we were walking in. And me, I was with Elisa. You know, we're both 40, and she goes, "Oh, let's see if we get carded." So we walk up to him, and we stand there, and he goes, "Hi." And so we were like, "Do you want to see your ID?" He goes, "Sure, if you want to hand it to me."
See, he did. I want to see what you think of this, Kathy. Kim Kardashian, Chrissy Teigen, Queer Eye's Tan France, and trans model Andreja Pajic are sporting some eye-catching new accessories. It's all in the name of Simon Huck's conceptual art experience called A Human, and it's already roiling social media. So Kim has a glowing necklace, and it looks like it's implanted in her skin.
But Preston, okay, and I wanted to ask you about this. It's clearly not an implant.
Right.
It is a flesh-colored thing made to look like an implant.
And it lights up, Kathy.
That freaks me out.
But you've got to
it gets worse.
Marissa, see if you can find, she's on social media, and there's a comment. She says, It's glowing
lights up
to
like
my
a heart.
heartbeat. And just her, and she looks like an android, dude.
To begin with.
I know, it's
this,
so
Preston.
it's such a shame.
She's got the lips like.
Yes, yeah, full on constructed duck lips, so she doesn't have to make the
She doesn't
pout
have to do duck
anymore. It
lips.
does it automatically.
Close to the beat of my heart.
Yeah, exactly. It's like this. I don't know. Who finds that?
WMMR presents Preston and Steve's Bizarre File.
Brought to you by Horizon Services. They can help you keep cool this summer with big summer savings, including free same-day estimates and next-day installation of your new AC system. Book at horizonservices.com. That's a pretty terrifying story. A man has been arrested after allegedly driving a minivan through a Long Island nail salon Friday afternoon, killing 4 people and injuring 9.
Yeah, this is crazy because, Preston, I just saw the story, and they said it was at this nail salon. I didn't realize he drove through the building.
Yeah, so the 64-year-old was charged with driving while intoxicated. Police say the suspect was driving through a parking lot. He eventually crashed the vehicle through the front window of Hawaii Nail and Spa. 4 people died during the crash, which took place when the salon was open and conducting business. 9 additional people were transported to local hospitals. 8 were transported by ambulance. 1 was airlifted by helicopter. The suspect was taken to hospital for non-life-threatening injuries and will be arraigned later on. The fire department said it appears a motorist drove through the building, all the way through the building, and we don't know the cause at this time. The driver of the minivan was partially conscious when first responders arrived on the scene. The nail salon is one of 5 stores in a small shopping area in Deer Park, Long Island.
Yeah.
A series of parking spots face the storefronts just beyond the sidewalk. Some 150 firefighters and EMS officials were on the scene to handle the incident, but it, plowed through the whole thing in a minivan. I mean, it had to have just been blind drunk.
Had to be.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, here's a little lighter story. In Florida, a man arrested Wednesday is accused of rendering thousands of dollars in damage to a drone that he shot as it attempted to make a delivery for Walmart.
You know this is going to be happening a lot more.
Dennis Wynn, who is 72 years old, faces charges of shooting or throwing a deadly missile into dwellings, vessels, or vehicles and discharging a firearm in public.
It's a mechanical seagull.
Walmart in 2022 announced that it was rolling out drone deliveries in Florida via Drone Up, a Virginia-based commercial drone services company that partnered with the supermarket giant in 2021.
It's like UpDog.
Penning a news release to express hopes the effort would influence the expansion of drone technology and enable other businesses to explore its benefits. Well, according to Wynn's arrested affidavit, a 2-man Drone Up crew was at a delivery point when the shooting occurred. The document noted that the crew was there campaigning for Drone Up, which is, in this case, it was to include a proof of concept mock delivery to their location. The drone was around 230 feet in the air when it arrived, descending to around 75 feet when one of the crew members heard what they thought was a gunshot. Both the crew and the drone raced back to the Walmart, where deputies responded after the crew member reportedly found a bullet hole in the drone payload system. A deputy made it back to the neighborhood, making contact with Wynn and asking him if he had an incident with the drone. Wynn allegedly said he used his 9mm handgun to shoot a drone that flew over his house as he was working on his pool pump, recounting past experiences with drones that he thought were surveilling him. While waiting for a transport vehicle, Wynn allegedly yelled out to a neighbor, he goes, "Hey, I'm going to jail for shooting a drone."
All right.
The shooting incurred some $2,500 in damage to the drone, with the crew noting business operations would also be impacted due to the aircraft being rendered inoperable.
There's so many levels of this whole drone delivery thing that I'm trying to figure out how they're going to be able to do this. Is it leaving from a centralized point? And how far are they remotely flying them? At what altitude do they fly them?
Right.
You know, all of these things.
Yep, not really sure how it's going to work out. I've heard in the past that you would have to purchase some kind of a locator,
right,
to where it would come directly to that every single time instead of just designating an address or something like that. You almost have like a little pad for it to land on. So maybe you have an agreement with the business, but then again, where it goes in the air and where there's clearance and stuff like that, I'm not really sure. Yeah. A school bus aide. Listen to how demented this is. A school bus aide in Connecticut was arrested after he bit a 9-year-old boy during a ride, according to police, part of a strange pattern of abuse that apparently went on for weeks. Juan Carlos Rodriguez was allegedly caught on camera aboard the bus biting the child, who has autism, by the way.
Oh, my God.
Police were alerted about the incident that occurred as the bus was transporting kids from a private special education school. On April 1st, the boy's mother reported the incident after noticing a bite mark on the child's back.
Like an adult man bite mark.
Video footage from inside the bus confirmed the boy's story, as the 27-year-old Rodriguez was seen making contact with the child, who immediately cried out in pain. In addition to the incident, there were other allegations against Rodriguez involving the same boy. He allegedly hit the child with his phone, wiped mucus on him, and licked his face in separate incidents over a 3-week span from May and June.
Jeez.
Rodriguez turned himself into law enforcement. He has since been fired from his job.
I know I made some bad calls.
Yeah, he's been fired from his job as a school bus aide. So that's just demented. Wow. All right, this is sad. 4 gazelles have died at a conservation center in the Spanish town of Almeria after a nearby music festival. The center's veterinarian told the BBC the animals were agitated during Saturday's concert, but the worst consequences happened the day after as gazelles ran into walls, breaking their necks and legs.
Holy hell.
Dr. Sonia Dominguez, who is the veterinarian, was with the animals during the concert on Saturday night. Her team had previously asked authorities to move the festival to a different venue. But Almeria Cultura, the town's cultural hub, defended its decision to go ahead with the event, saying that in a statement that concerts did not exceed 65 decibels on the outer wall of the center. They said, we can measure decibels, but it's not the main aspect. The Conservation Center's vet explained that the animals are more sensitive than humans to the sound and vibration.
Believe it, I knew that.
Dr. Dominguez said the animals are particularly sensitive at this time of year because it's their breeding season.
And they tend to prefer thrash metal.
She added that because gazelles are prey in their natural habitats, their way to get away from what scares them in nature is to run away.
Yeah.
And in doing this, she said some of the animals sustained traumatic injuries.
It's crazy.
The animals are endangered and classified as vulnerable according to the International Union for Conservation of Nature. So, yeah, it's terrible, right? And unfortunately, we're going to end on a terrible one. That's all I have for you in the Bizarre File this morning. All right, a reminder, we mentioned this earlier this morning, but if you are interested in going to Preston and Steve Day Off at Dorney, first of all, keep in mind it's a week from this Thursday. We'll be broadcasting live from Dorney Park, but if you are interested in winning a 4-pack of tickets, just go to the Preston and Steve Show's social channels, Facebook, Instagram, X, Twitter, whatever you want to call it, and enter the word Woodstock. That's the word we're using because they do have a Planet Snoopy there. Of course, Snoopy's best buddy is Woodstock.
It is.
So make sure you enter the word Woodstock, and winners will get free admission for the day, free parking, early entrance to enjoy rides that are opening early, including the brand new coaster Iron Menace. So make sure that you do that. We're going to take a break. Come back in a second. We'll get the lesson question. Give some stuff away. Also delve into the trash and music news. So stay put. We'll be right back. It's dysmorphia. We're looking at video. Look at this, Kathy. It lights up and it looks like it's under your skin.
Yeah, that's kind of...
Kind of wild.
Well, there's a couple of different ones, Preston. So Chrissy Teigen had one. There was a disgusting one that I think it might have been the trans model had, where it looks like almost like mushrooms growing out of their neck.
Oh,
yeah.
This is just somebody who has a lot of money, so is going to pay them to do this. This isn't going to be a fashion trend.
But you can't.
Be too expensive.
And
Yeah,
exactly.
no, it's not.
How would you pay to get this put on? It's got to be a fairly
And if
elaborate
it is,
process.
it's going to be so quick.
Well, now I'm just kind of thinking out loud here, guys.
Here's our fashionista.
Well, I mean, for the people who don't have that kind of money to spend on a glow necklace, okay, and that's all that is just a stupid glow necklace. What if it was like some sort of like thing that you could insert glow necklaces into, Kathy? Right?
What do you mean?
Yeah,
So you know what a glow necklace is, obviously,
The
right?
things
Like
you crack?
glow. Yeah, the glow bracelets.
Yeah.
What if it was like just a vessel that was like decorative that you could insert the glow
And make
necklace?
it different colors?
Well,
I see what you're saying.
The
Not-
pitch here, though, is that it looks flesh colored. It looks like you have altered your skin.
You're saying not looking like it's implanted.
not like but accessorizing your glow necklace.
Like what Twinkie wore in Buck Rogers.
Here's the audio of her showing it off. Here we go.
My necklace glows like a heartbeat. It moves to the rhythm of my heartbeat.
Oh my God! Shut up!
My necklace glows like a heartbeat.
Wait.
It moves to the rhythm of my heartbeat.
Oh my God.
My heartbeat. Wait, Steve, what are you putting in your mouth?
Something to puff. Give me something to puff out my lips.
Give him something. Wait, you need light? Here, hold on. I have something.
Do you have cotton or
tiny
something?
flashlight.
wait.
Steve was trying to put a flashlight in his mouth. Not a flashlight, a flashlight.
Yeah, we do have those.
Stick a flashlight in your mouth.
Try that case.
Try that.
What do you have? Yeah, okay.
Close to the rhythm of
Wait,
my
this is
heart.
too big. What do you think I am, a Watusi warrior here? What'd you give him?
Do you think somebody told her to say that, or is that all on
Well,
her
I'm sure
own?
she's getting paid for
Well,
it.
I know, but like where they like say it's,
Sure.
it's to your heart.
Close to the rhythm.
My necklace glows like a heartbeat. It moves to the rhythm of my heartbeat.
You look like
Let me see.
like Bill Murray in where the giant plant when he goes to the dentist. Little Shop of Horrors. You look like
Little Shop of It goes to the beat of my heartbeat. It's right under my neck and it glows and it pumps to the heart of my heart. Glow, turn on my heart light.
It moves to the rhythm of my heartbeat.
Oh my God!
Shut up.
Yeah. Well, this person Simon Huck is a conceptual artist, so it's.
I'm a conceptual artist. And I want your neck to glow.
Stop it. So they don't see that outside the bubble.
All right,
the
so
rest of the world is like, what are you doing?
I'm looking at one. Nick pulled this up. It looks like she has feathers growing out of her chest.
Yeah,
Yes.
Steve, this is Chrissy Teigen.
Okay, so
Yeah,
Nick, do you have the other ones as well?
Kind of cool.
This is no.
That's cool.
She only posted one.
I mean, listen. It looks like studio makeup done for a movie.
Yes.
For a horror movie.
Yeah, a horror movie or
Yeah,
some sort of
fantasy, sci-fi thing.
So why not be like the large singing plant from Little Shop of Horrors?
Yeah. So meanwhile,
Seymour?
so Teigen, sported a featherhead breastplate, they called it, while Tan France wore a piece made to look like ruffled skin with bioreactive crystals, and Pajik wore horn-like sculpted shoulders. That's it.
Okay, so the one that looks like mushrooms growing here, if we can get that one, I think it looks kind of really like Casey. You don't like things that look like openings and circles and indentations in a body.
Wouldn't it be awesome for like the socially elite for it to become fashionable to wear like a horn out of your forehead?
But Preston,
Wouldn't it?
Like the
you're
Hunger
not
Games?
far.
Yeah.
Preston, the bagel thing.
Yeah.
You know, the Japanese were doing the bagel implants on the forehead.
But I'd like to see like a rhino horn coming out of their forehead. Oh my God.
Charge.
Rhino. That's so rhino. All right, anyhow, the full exhibit of futuristic clothing-like objects inserted under the skin opens in New York City next week. The entrance fee to even see this stuff is $40 if you want to go check it out.
$40 to see these incredible expressions of self.
Ewan McGregor is in talks to reprise his role as Obi-Wan Kenobi in a series that centers around his Star Wars character for Disney Plus, according to the Hollywood Reporter.
It is Obi-Wan Kenobi, attorney at law. It's a departure.
That would be.
Yeah.
I think you should let him off with time served.
I'm giving you time served.
He's using the Jedi mind trick to sway the judge.
I think you should find him innocent.
I'm finding you innocent.
I object! There's no way that's legal! It's totally legal.
Oh, my God.
I think you need to go to sleep.
I got to go to sleep now.
That would be...
That would be
brilliant.
I would totally
Attorney at law.
This isn't the evidence you're looking for.
Yeah.
Even if you're stone cold guilty, give me a call.
Yeah, exactly. Those are the commercials. Yeah.
Demand Kenobi.
Yeah. And he's licensed in Missouri.
I am.
Yeah.
And even if I'm not, I'll convince them I am.
Yes, that's right.
I'm licensed in Missouri.
He's licensed in Missouri.
Better call Obi.
Would he wear would he be a cowboy hat?
Space cowboy.
Lawyer?
Yeah.
Type? Oh, my God. Obi-Wan Kenobi, attorney at law.
Anytime, day or night, even on New Year's Day.
Coming soon to Disney Plus.
Or Life Day on the Wookiee home planet.
No, this could be good. I loved him as Obi-Wan Kenobi. I didn't care for the series of movies, but I thought he pulled it off
I agree.
wonderfully.
He was the thing that kept me watching, and he provided, I believe, the emotional core to those. The second and third movies I really do like. I think they're good. In just tone and in some way, the distinction between the Abrams movies, the artificiality of the first trilogy was almost too much. It was so CGI.
Today we have a pair of tickets for NASCAR's Great American Getaway. I'm sorry, I was saying Gateway last week. Getaway 400 at Pocono Raceway, Sunday, July 14th. I very rarely go all the way back to the 6 o'clock hour, like early in the 6 o'clock hour.
All right.
But what is the coolest new sport in the world? 215-263 WMMR. That was like 6:15. That was right when we got the show going today. And during the sports, this was brought up. What is the coolest new sport in the world? 215-263 WMMR. Here's a hint. It's not a real sport.
Oh.
Okay. Call if you heard and you know the answer. Here we go.
The trash business is a gold mine. 93.3 WMMR with Preston and Steve's Hollywood Trash.
Brought to you this morning by Powhana. You can set sail with Powhana in Ocean City, New Jersey, the only Caribbean tiki boat experience. And you bring the drinks and the food, and they'll captain your boat. Book your tropical getaway or bachelorette party today at PauhanaTikiBoat.com. That's P-A-U-H-A-N-A, tikiboat.com. What's up this morning, Steve?
Well, while performing a concert in Nashville, country star Zach Bryan brought the roof down by bringing the Hawk Tuah girl, Haley Welch, out on stage. Welch started to perform a live version of Hawk Tuah, but halfway through, she had already been replaced by the new Queef My Beef girl.
Oh, wow. What? Hey!
Khloe Kardashian threw herself a 40th birthday party and concert featuring Snoop Dogg and Warren G. Ironically, Khloe attempted to pay for it all with Apple Pay, but her phone wouldn't recognize her face.
Oh, my God.
And finally, former Patriots tight end Pharaoh Brown says nobody knew 72-year-old Bill Belichick had a 23-year-old girlfriend last season. Pharaoh says most everyone just assumed she was his day nurse. That's your Hollywood Trash.
All right, we will see if anybody knows the answer to this question. What is the coolest new sport in the world? 215-263 WMMR. We'll go to Jay, see if he knows the answer. Hey, Jay, good morning, bud.
Hey, bitches.
Hey, what? All right, Jay, coolest new sport in the world, please?
Horse wrestling.
Horse wrestling. Hang on, Jay. You got it right. We give you a pair of tickets for NASCAR's Great American Getaway 400 at Pocono Raceway Sunday, July 14th. And NASCAR Weekend returns Pocono Raceway July 12th through the 14th. Tickets at PoconoRaceway.com.
Get away from me.
Yeah, the getaway. By the way, other questions I could have gone with this morning.
Yes.
What is our favorite replacement name for the town of Brigantine? Frigantine. And then where did Casey ride his bike? Past it.
Golden Gate Bridge.
Golden Gate Bridge. And then who's the only doctor in Penn Medicine System that isn't very nice to us?
Butt nugget?
Butt nub.
Butt nub.
Dr. Butt nub.
I said it. I couldn't even remember.
That's all good. All right, music news time.
Now, Preston and Steve's Music News on 93.3 WMMR.
By the way, Nick did find horse wrestling on YouTube, believe it or not.
Yeah.
Only it's the people on the horseback that are trying to knock each other off.
No, that's not how you
It's
do
not
it.
the actual horses.
It's not the Olympic
wrestling
sanction.
each other.
Did you see what the referee was wearing, Preston? He's
did
got
not.
like the really regal-looking horse referee. There he is in the background.
wow.
He's got a cool hat.
No, I didn't see that. Where is this?
This is in Tajikistan, but it's also available in Mongolia. So any of your Central Asian countries.
Sure.
Yeah.
Horse wrestling.
Former stands.
All right, music news brought to you by the Franklin Institute. The Art of the Brick, the world's largest display of Lego art, is now open at the Franklin Institute after the exhibit Explore the 9,000 square foot brick play space. And you can get your tickets today for the Art of the Brick at fi.edu. Two stories today in music news. We'll start with this. Pearl Jam has been forced to cancel 2 additional shows on their European tour as unspecified band members continue to recover from illness. The group was
My tummy hurts.
the group was slated to perform in Berlin on July 2nd and 3rd. These dates have now been scrapped. The announcement comes just a day after the band had to call off their June 29th show at London's Tottenham Hotspur Stadium for the same reason. The next opportunity for Pearl Jam to perform on stage will be July 6th in Barcelona.
That has to suck when you're going through all the preparation. You have these dates, tickets been sold, and then there's all sorts of peripheral things that go on around the concert, and that all has to come.
And plus, like for a European
down.
tour, Steve,
Yeah.
like they do really well in Europe, and these people in Germany have been waiting for a long time for these shows, and it's not like they're rescheduled; they're just flat out canceled.
You know what happens when those German audiences get agitated?
World War III.
So, they're very apologetic about it, and they issued a lengthy statement that says we don't take these things lightly, but this is unavoidable.
I just want everyone to know that my BMs are good.
Oh, thank God.
Although the specific members affected have not been disclosed, Eddie Vedder struggled with vocal issues during the band's previous show in Manchester on June 25th, just the second date of the tour. Tickets for the canceled Berlin shows will be refunded at the point of purchase. And then one last thing, Tom Morello of Rage Against the Machine has released a new Not Safe for Work single called Soldier in the Army of Love. And it was co-written with his 13-year-old son, Roman. The track, which premiered last week, features Morello's signature guitar work alongside a powerful solo performance by Roman. This song serves as the lead single for Morello's upcoming debut full-length solo rock album, celebrating music's ability to heal and inspire change. Currently, Tom is touring Europe, including select dates with the Smashing Pumpkins until mid-July.
So 2 good potential names for people, Roman and Atlas, we heard today.
Yeah, that's right.
I think those are 2 pretty nice names.
So Roman is one of the characters in Succession. We were talking about, it was Alan Ruck's birthday today, so we were chatting about Succession earlier.
Yeah.
And Nick, Casey, you guys both watch it. A couple of times, the dad would call him Romulus.
Yeah. Romulus.
And I'm assuming that's his full name, and Roman is short for Romulus.
I believe so, yeah.
That's a pretty wild name, too, right?
Yeah.
You know, make a nice name as well? Tujika Stan.
Tujika Stan. Tujika Stan. Okay.
Yeah.
Would Stan be the middle name?
Hyphen.
Or Tujika
I see it as a
Stan.
hyphen.
Okay. But I always thought Romulus. I'm like, that's
Romulus is a cool name.
Pretty badass
yeah,
name.
absolutely.
All right.
Even Ramus.
And that is what I have in music news for you this morning. We will take a break. We will come back in a second and get our letter of the day for the Word of the Week prize. Jackie Bam Bam's still here, right?
Yes, Pierre's
this
away
week.
for 2 weeks.
All right, so we'll get that all from him and see what he's got coming up. Stay with us.
It was hard to connect to.
Yeah,
But
everything on the screen was fake.
Yeah.
Except for the people, and even in that case, a lot of like Jar Jar obviously was fake. But there's a big stretch of time where we don't know what happens with Obi-Wan, and maybe they'll fill in that time.
Yeah.
with his law career.
Law school.
With
and-
this, yeah.
Passing the bar.
Mr. Kenobi, do you have anything to say?
John Houseman.
So anyhow, we'll see when that eventually
He gets his own
surfaces.
judge show.
Obi-Wan Kenobi.
This bitch still got my TV. Give the TV back.
He's settling these small claims cases.
This bitch still got my TV.
my God. Oh.
I suggest you return the TV. Give me the TV.
Miley Cyrus, you know about all that went on, yeah. She is officially living her best life after splitting with husband Liam Hemsworth. Soaking in that post-breakup glow with a potential new fling. The mother's daughter singer and the Hunger Games star called it quits on Saturday after less than 8 months of marriage and many more as a couple. The two announced that they've decided to, quote, focus on themselves and their careers in a joint statement.
The thing that is wild is, I guess about 4 months ago, she said she was bisexual, right? That she enjoyed relationships with women as well. And lo and behold, right? I'm sure you have the information there.
Well, yeah, so she is seemingly taking an on-to-the-next-level approach. As hours before the news broke, she was spotted kissing Caitlyn Carter. Carter recently ended her not-so-real marriage to reality TV star and Kardashian step-sibling Brody Jenner.
Can you imagine?
The two have been vacationing in Lake Como, Italy with Cyrus's sister and were seen packing on the PDA at the Il Sereno Hotel over the weekend, where onlookers said they were not trying to hide it at all.
Oh, this is all happening on Instagram. I've got to follow her, Preston. I'm missing so much.
Are you ready? So here is her inspirational message. She wrote.
Do we have music that would?
I think you should cue. This is inspirational, so this is.
Oh, you want
the anthem. So she wrote, "Don't fight evolution because
I hear you, bro.
You will never win. Like the mountain I'm standing on top of, which was once underwater, connected with Africa. Change is inevitable."
This is my fight. Take back my life.
All right, and life is a climb, but the view is great.
This is my fight song. Take back my life.
You know what? I think you need a different one. Can you read that line back to me again?
Which one?
The climb one.
Okay.
This is
Life is a climb, but the view is great.
There's always gonna be another mountain. I'm always gonna wanna make it move.
What's the name of this song?
You love that song.
I do love this song.
I think that's probably why she wrote it.
Yeah.
So
she's so smart.
Hemsworth, meanwhile, has been the only one in this love square, laying relatively low. He stepped out with his brother Chris in Byron Bay, Australia, where the two picked up some frozen yogurt. So they hit up Froyo.
Hey, you want some yogurt or something? Hey, we'll get frozen yogurt.
But he did break his silence a little bit. The 29-year-old was, like I said, was hanging out with Chris, and
let me eat my yogurt.
It seems Liam isn't quite ready to jump back in, and Liam told Daily Mail Australia when asked about the split, "You don't understand what it's like. I don't want to talk about it, mate."
I feel bad for him.
Yeah.
I mean, he entered it. She seemed like a safe bet, Miley Cyrus, that she would be the wife he had always wanted. But no, listen, the heart wants what the heart wants, Preston. And this heart wanted another chick.
I guess so, right? It's. I was about to say it's so funny, but not funny. It's just
ha funny.
No,
like I make you laugh.
It's interesting to watch couples in an off again, on again relationship, and you and your friends who know these people know. You know.
Yes.
It's never going to work. It's never going to work. But then one of them goes, "Let's get married."
Yeah.
And now I'm going to be serious about it. This is it. I'm diving in. And they think that is going to be the Band-Aid, that's going to be the big,
the impression of commitment. Yes.
Yeah.
Let's have the trappings of commitment. Yeah. Without the commitment.
And then they don't realize after it just goes back to the same old crap, and it didn't.
And there you are eating yogurt with your brother.
Yeah, exactly.
There you are eating froyo with your brother.
It's also funny to watch the reactions because he's laying low, not saying anything, not posting anything on Instagram. Meanwhile, Miley is going nuts on Instagram.
She's finger blasting somebody in Lake Como.
And they're both, she and this Caitlyn girl are both posting a ton of hot photos of themselves. So in order for them to get validation post-breakup, they need to post these superficial shots of themselves. Right. Whereas Liam is just like, I'm going to get some frozen yogurt.
And not for anything. Just, I don't know, live your life how you want to live. But maybe be a little respectful of the marriage you just had. Right? I mean, just take a little bit of a breather before you're squatting on each other's faces and pictures on Instagram.
So they were married for roughly 8 months, but they'd been together on and off for more than a decade.
Yeah, a long time.
Anyhow, some question whether their elaborate ceremony in Nihi on Sumba.
This is all made up.
Is this all? Are these real
These
words?
are pretend
Nick,
places.
You're our geographer.
I know places, but yeah, this one's a mystery to me.
In Nihi on Sumba.
How do you spell? How do you spell?
Where'd you get married? Nihi.
How do you spell Nihi?
Nihi.
Oh.
Yeah. Oh, I thought you said Ehe. That's a town one over.
No.
It's like Shelbyville and Springfield.
What?
That's how they sound in Ehe.
Oh, Nihi Sumba. It's all.
Oh.
All right. Is it an island nation?
Yeah, it's in.
Yeah, it's right next to Nelby Tai Tai.
It's in Indonesia.
Oh, dear Lord.
Nelby Tai
Is right next to Nihi on Sumba.
Yeah. Just south of Isotai.
That's the main city.
Yeah.
I'm going into where you're going. Wait.
So people are wondering if their ceremony in Nihi on Sumba in June of 2018 was legally binding or not. They might not really be married. Yeah. Okay. So that was a big story.
It sort of rocked my world. Let me ask you this: then you all worked in besides? Did you all work in regular restaurants?
Yeah.
For servers, is how commonplace is it to on the way from the?
No, not the way. But we talked about this.
Maybe
on the way back.
Maybe up on the counter.
No, on the way out.
Yeah,
because the way the kitchen that I worked in, you'd put up, order up, you put it up on a counter.
Like there's a whole plate of fries,
and it was still in the kitchen, so it wasn't.
Yeah.
It wasn't in line of sight for the customers, so they could probably grab a fry and eat one on the way out.
It was never that for me.
You never did that?
No, but I
never.
But I sucked all the nitrous out of the whipped cream.
Really?
I watched.
Dude, my waiter just took a dump on our table.
I watched one waitress. She had like 3 or 4 different whipped cream things that just was like cream juice because it had no nitrogen. What's going on here? These are all broken.
Do you remember?
Dripping.
I don't know. I have no idea. I have no idea what's going on with you. That's messed up, man.
Casey, at a place called the Coffee. You remember the Coffee Beanery?
Yeah.
All right, so the same thing happened. I wanted whipped cream on hot chocolate.
Oh my God.
The guy's like, he's going through the cans. I said to him, what are the odds that 6 cans of whipped cream have no propellant in them?
And Steve, did you know that when you do nitrous, it's like sulfur hexafluoride?
Yeah. It makes your voice sound like this. Did you folks like some espresso?
Just a side note, that stuff killed brain cells so fast.
Oh my God.
It was so stupid.
Dude, also, I watch people in the parking lot doing these things and walking at the same time. Rule number 1, sit down first. Because you're going to fall and smash your face into a parking block.
Oh, yeah.
I gotta get to surgery. I'm a neurosurgeon.
Preston, you know that thing that you got me where you can stick your phone in the vents of your air conditioner?
Yes.
I saw somebody that has.
That's how you heat up your chicken?
No, Steve, it's even more ridiculous than that. And he listens to the show. I'm not going to out you, but he has one of these things that goes into the vent that you put in.
Said a few colorful things as I was trying to hit the button. Love that song from Foo Fighters. Breakout on 93.3 WMMR. It's 10:30 exactly on this Monday morning. Weather's nice today. High of about 81 degrees or so, and mostly sunny skies. There must have been some really nasty weather in some spots last night because, like Kathy was saying at the beginning of traffic this morning, Belmont is closed here in the Ballackinwood area, and I'd gone. That's the route that I take to come to work, and there were barriers that were up, and one of them was moved out of the way, so I drove through it.
Is that Nick?
Got up a little further up. No, because I come in before Nick.
Okay.
And I had to eventually make a U-E because it was completely closed down further down. Yeah.
So I came in after you, and the one on the lower part of Belmont was still there, but you could get around it. The one at the top part of Belmont, somebody, I guess, had moved that to us, and so I could get around that one, but that was a little bit more difficult. But yeah, the lights were still out where that CVS is on Belmont.
And so Belmont was very effed up?
It must have been. And I saw branches down and stuff, and so, yeah, I mean, it was pretty nasty winds that came through.
A lot of debris. It almost looked like it flooded through there, too.
Yeah.
Well, I showed you the picture, and Nick, we'd both noticed, and you got a picture as well. In fact, you reached out to Cecily over at 6ABC. The most unique cloud pattern I'd ever seen, basically like marshmallows in the air, and it was a blanket of it all across the sky. It was amazing.
And this was what day?
This was yesterday at
Last night.
about 7:30.
After the storms came through, they're called Mammatus clouds, and they're formed by sinking air behind strong thunderstorms, per Cecily Tynan. And yeah, so I put some photos up on Instagram and Twitter and asked Cecily over Twitter what they were, and she let me know. So pretty cool looking
pretty.
thing. Yeah, they look like cotton candy, but they only form after a storm.
It looks kind of like glandular to me.
It looks like the sky's nutsack.
Okay, if it's a nubby nutsack. Nubby nutsack. That'd be like a good
Nubby
vaudeville
nutsack.
game.
Would you take
team.
nubby nutsack over an eyeball?
I would take my nutsack over an eyeball any day.
Okay.
Yeah, sounds about right.
Thank you. I'm glad we isolated
clear on that.
earlier this morning. All right. Thank you to Mr. Matt McGinnis who came by. Mystery Science Theater 3000. He and Joel, and they're going to be doing a screening of, what is it, Blob Revenge? No, what was the next Blob movie?
Beware the Blob.
Blobs in Paradise.
Beware the Blob. Blobs in Paradise.
Yeah.
And they're going to be doing the Mystery Science Theater special riff deal with this. And this is, you can go to thecolonialtheater.com, get the details, because 25th anniversary of Blobfest is taking place July 12th through the 14th at the Colonial Theater. And they do the runouts and all that stuff. And
Two of them this year.
Matt McGinnis's movie riffing melee that's taking place. Matt's great, so it was really cool to talk to him. And that's a really fun event in Phoenixville. If you've never been there, when they shut down the streets and they have special events like this, it's just a blast.
It is.
Yeah. So thank you to Matt for coming by this morning. Where's Jackie?
Yeah. What?
I am
usually texts me to say en route.
Where is he?
Does he know that he's working today?
Yeah, did he remember?
He's filling in for Pierre.
I'm Ian Rowdy.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we have to do the letter of the day. It's only a 3-letter word this week. So, Case, you want to get us started?
Yeah.
Here we go.
Preston and Steve on 93.3 WMMR.
Now, the Daily Letter.
And the Preston and Steve show is brought to you today by the letter
L as in lackadaisical.
All right, and we will be giving away a pair of VIP tickets. What?
He's doing his Jackie.
I used so many syllables in that word.
Good word.
Jackie does this pointing thing after he gives the letter. We're going to be giving away VIP tickets for the Peach at the Beach, hosted by our very own Pierre Robert, Saturday, July 13th. And it's at the Island Water Park at Showboat Resort and Casino in Atlantic City and features Grateful Dead and Allman Brothers tribute bands. But tickets also give you access to the water park for the day, the main concert area, and the Paradise Adult Island with a swim-up bar, meal vouchers, and VIP viewing area as well. Tickets and information at thepeachmusicfestival.com, by the way.
That's a peach, son.
So get yourself set. We are going to give that away on Wednesday. All right, so that's going to be good. All right, I want to thank our sponsors. Preston and Steve Show is brought to you today by Dunkin'. The Preston and Steve Show runs on Dunkin'. Also brought to you by Acme Markets, fresh foods, local flavors. Tomorrow on our program, among other things, we will have Mr. Murr on the program. Murr from the Impractical Jokers. So looking forward to have him. Always great conversation with Murr. And we'll see what else we delve into. So that's it. We're done. Rage on. Have a great day. I think Jackie Bam Bam is up next, and we'll see you later, gang. Bye-bye.
Mm-hmm.